is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
Hello and welcome to the ESL Mobile Open Season 4 Finals presented by AT&T. I'm your host, Paul and Varam Todkill, here to bring you all the action for our finals for PUBG Mobile here for Season 4. But before we get into the games, I have a lot of exciting announcements. First and foremost, we need to give a big, warm welcome to Sony Mobile for joining us as the official mobile partner for the ESL Mobile Open. We are so excited to have them here as part of the ESL Mobile Open family with the Xperia One. I've had the opportunity to use this phone over the last few days. And let's just say it's pretty darn good for mobile gaming. We'll talk about that more as the show goes on because Season 5 signups are live. If you want to get involved, if you want to see yourself playing here in these competitions, you can do so. Signups are live right now. ! Sign up in the chat because we have a lot of amazing things coming over the course of this year. First and foremost, of course, PUBG Mobile has integrated with the PMCO. If you want to skip, I don't know, maybe the entire open stages for PMCO, if you want to go right into the group stages for that, you can. All you have to do is win Season 5 of the ESL Mobile Open. This is an amazing opportunity for you to get involved in the world of mobile esports. And of course, we have a very special finals event in store for you. We'll talk more about that at a later date. But let's get back to the action today. Let's get to the task at hand. I can't do this alone, of course. I need an expert analyst to help me break this down. And a face you all know and love. Of course, it is Daniel Digon Gonzalez standing by.
Hi, Paul. I'm here. Paul, I'm so excited to be here for PUBG Mobile. I'm so excited. Paul, why do you look confused?
I don't see it, Digon.
What? You don't see me? Why can't you see me? Hold on.
I don't.
You don't. It's the camo. That's why you don't see me. The camo's here, everybody. So excited to be back for the Mobile Open. No regular season, no problem. Camo's back. We're back. Paul and I are back. Super excited to bring you this finals here for the Season 4. And again, as you touched on, super excited that we're finally integrating with the whole PUBG Mobile competitive scene. So now the rule set a little bit clearer, links into PMCO, and then you can achieve your dreams to head on over to the PMPL and, of course, the World League at some point. So it all starts here at the Mobile Open.
I love. They didn't prep me on this at all. Was that a shark? I was so confused. But yes, the thing I'm not confused about is how it's. Oh, right. We've talked about this, but the thing I'm not confused about is how awesome it is that we are integrating into the larger ecosystem for the world of PUBG Mobile, because there are a lot of mobile gamers in the United States, Digon. There's like 200 million of them. In fact, over 200 million. That's a lot of people. We've had over 669,000 of them compete in the Mobile Open so far. But of those, this season, we had a lot of PUBG Mobile teams sign up. I should mention this season, 32 squads made it to our playoffs, and only 16 have made it here to our grand finals. 5 games today. 5 games to determine who will walk away the champion. All the performance you put up to this point, it's great, it's awesome, but you need to show up today. This is where it counts.
Yeah, big resets here with some of the big names and big hitters, as well as always with every single Mobile Open, which is why we love the event. You get a lot of these smaller teams. And in North America itself, the competitive ecosystem kind of changed over this offseason. So PMCO finals that were held in Malaysia. You had a couple star challenges in China, I believe. And so after the season was done and the new year happened, some orgs started making some big shifts with their roster. And we'll get to see that once we move to the participants list. But again, the big news is that we're hitting a new format here for ESL.
Yep.
Prior, it was all about placement. Now kills a little bit more.
Yeah, let's actually take a look at the scoring because we need to remind everybody exactly how the players are going to walk away with the W today. And this was a big thing for us. We really wanted to take the community feedback into account. And with this integration into the larger competitive scene, we wanted to make sure that we were taking those rule sets. So now, like you mentioned before, placements are important, but kills are worth a lot. 1 point apiece, which is huge. And of course, is now being played in third person with the entire map pool. Everything that we could do to make this feel as seamless and cohesive with the PUBG Mobile competitive that you all know and love, that's what we've done.
Oh, that's super sick. Yeah, it's great to see now how we took the feedback from the players, took the feedback from the community, and now it kind of fits all in. And now it feels like, hey, we're no longer just this event that happens, and it's really cool to offer another space for people to play, but it actually fits into the whole ecosystem while still building true grassroots of like mobile gaming. Like it's so cool to be a part of, and I love the fact that we were able to work with PUBG Mobile to set this up. So again, kills a lot more important now. Placement still good, 20 whole points, but the ratio from placement to kill points has now shortened a bit, and so making sure that you pick up those frags going to be very important.
Yeah, hopefully encourage a little bit more aggressive play style, and I expect some aggressive play considering the teams who have made it here to our top 16. Let's take a look at the standings. Oh, I try my best. Let's take a look at our standings, though, and see what teams have made it here to the top. A lot of names you're familiar with if you've watched previous events, if you've watched competitive PUBG Mobile, but also, like you mentioned before, some new faces showing up, some teams with some maybe lesser known players, players trying to make a name for themselves, and that is what the Mobile Open competition is all about.
Yeah, and again, some of the big roster changes and roster moves that we've seen, Tempo Storm basically taking a couple members from Team Totality, which is no longer here. Omen Elite picking up some players from Space Station Gaming, our last champion in Season 3, with Juicy hopping onto that. Angry, I think, a sub, and Carnage, former Space Station Gaming guy, on there as well. But then, as you said, new faces. Endgame is now up on here, hoping to see a little bit more. Everfury is part of that roster and has been in the scene for such a long time. Code stepping on up with Shaka, Prime, and Spray. So it'll be really cool to see some of the old faces with the new faces. And, of course, who's going to be the big surprise here?
Yeah, that's my big question mark right now, because at the end of the day, we have seen teams come in, maybe the favorite, maybe not the favorite, but we have seen some, these teams that we expected to do really well falter sometimes in these, these finals event situations, or teams just absolutely step up to the plate. They thrive on the pressure of this competition. And of course, we are doing this remotely. We are doing it at home. We're being safe about this. We're being smart about it. So the players are in their comfort zone. They're in their element. There's no worries about stage jitters or any of that kind of stuff. The players can sit down. They can compete. They can do what they do. And this is really, a great chance for them to just really put their names out there, even more so, especially considering, we're still early on in 2020. There's still a lot of competition to be had this year.
Yeah, change is always the name of the game, right? I think it's those teams that are able to adapt that find success in any sort of competition. And so, again, being forced to play at home, although you'd imagine it's more comfortable for the teams that have made it season after season after season, this is a change, right? The finals supposed to be in person. You're supposed to be getting used to a new phone. You're supposed to be used to sitting upright, all those different things. So it'll be very interesting to see how these teams adjust to playing at home and adjust to the new rule set, right? Because we've known to play a specific placement-oriented game. We've been known to play with a larger lobby. This time, instead of 80 players, 20 teams, it's 64 players, 16 teams. So again, bunch of small changes here, and the teams that you saw in order in the order that you saw when we took a look at the teams was the order that they qualified in. So Cloud9 further down that roster, Omen Elite down in 10th place or 8th place. So it's interesting to see, hey, look, everyone was kind of on the same playing field, and some of these teams that haven't been able to assert themselves as much as they've wanted to in North America find themselves up top with G25, Pittsburgh Knights, and Tribe.
And it's interesting, too, mentioning some of those teams. I do want to make a note. I did get a note from our admins regarding Cloud9. It seems like after the roster lock period, they actually did part ways with one of their players and didn't opt to utilize their sub spot, which means that they only have 3 players. So Ripperino, Cloud9. They may show up for the first game, but unfortunately with 3 players, that's all they can play with. So it looks like they're not going to be a factor here in this finals, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, Cloud9, obviously the cream of the crop from North America over 2019. Beowulf, Uneven have really led the way with Pyra there. It was Perkasas, the final member of that roster. But again, in that North American roster swap, they made a move. Perkasas wasn't quite of age, so he wasn't able to stick on the roster with their schedule that was needed. And they made a move. So we're not sure if they're going to play with that player that was on the roster, or if they're just going to get their one allotted game when you don't have all your members to start. And that means Cloud9's not going to be a factor in the games today. And I think that's huge here because Cloud9 is so scary. Beowulf, known as one of the best in-game leaders in all of North America, and so to lose one of the best brains and some of the top fraggers in all of the lobby, that leaves a lot more space for everybody, not just the big teams, but also some of the bottom feeders as well.
I mean, here's the thing too. We had, I think, over 300 teams sign up this season. You talk even the idea of the bottom feeders making the top 16. These are still some of the best squads in NA. It was a gauntlet to get here, Degon. Even just to make it to the playoffs, just to make it to the top 32 was a feat in and of itself. So now the idea that these players have made it to our top 16, that in and of itself is a fantastic accomplishment, and of course is going to be reflected not only in the prize money that they walk away with, but also just the prestige and the practice, everything that they're getting into the future of PMCL and PMPL, all the stuff that you mentioned before, with the broader ecosystem for PUBG Mobile. I am getting word that our game is about to get underway, which means that finally we get to get in the plane, get dropping for game number 1. But in terms of final sort of predictions looking forward here, you mentioned a couple names, Tempo Storm being one of them, Tribe Gaming being another. Is there any other team that you kind of got your eye on here?
Yeah, I think the other one to keep an eye out is Wildcard. This is a pretty sick roster with Slicky, Spring, Enigma, and Azor. These are all vets that have been to multiple mobile opens. They've always tried to qualify through PMCO. And I really like the mix of veteran savvy and guys that have been there with guys that want to prove it. Like Slicky and Spring have been on the cusp of some of these top teams for quite some time. Slicky, again, kind of leading the way for Squad on Me back in season 2 over in New York, over at the Barclays Center. He was one of the driving forces there. And to play with Azor here, who was part of the original Misfits roster as well, that won season 1, it's going to be really big.
It's going to be huge. And with game number 1 getting underway, we'll see if they can step up to the plate for the first game of the finals here for the ESL Mobile Open Season 4. Degon, there's nobody I'd rather do this with. It's good to have you back, albeit at a social distance, but it's still good to get in on this game here for the finals and see what these players can do.
Oh, for sure, brother. I'm stoked to have this going here. And I again, as you said, would rather not do this with anybody else than you, buddy. So let's hop on in, see where we get things kicked off for us as we take a look pretty far west plane path here, south to north. Not a lot of jump zone. It's going to be a long flight for anyone that wants to go to the eastern side. Lipovka, Malta, Shilter, any of those places. But a lot of early drops here. See if anyone decides to take the military base, because every season we always have a military base team. But in this case, doesn't look like we have one of those established military base teams.
And it's going to be interesting because sometimes we have a military base team, and then sometimes we have 2 military base teams, which quickly turns into a military base team. Because oftentimes we'll see these teams, they'll fight it out, and then once people are like, okay, I'll just give this up, I'll go somewhere else. And of course, with only 16 teams in the lobby, real estate, there's a little bit more of it to go around. Pachinki is here. Gosh, I wonder what team is going to be landing Pachinki, Degon.
I know. It's like Tempo Dip was named after them. Tempo Pachinki is like what it should be called right here. Tempo Chinky. There we go. Got it. I knew it was there somewhere.
So, surprisingly easy.
Yeah. So Tempo drop in Pachinki and no one daring to go there. If we take a look at the map, no one going east. There's absolutely no one east. You got 1, 2, looks like 3 teams on the southern island, with 2 teams now all over each other in military base. And the circle does sit on the same side as the plane path.
And Georgie is also getting a little bit busy as well. So I mentioned, it's a little more real estate. We might not see quite as much aggression early, but to the note, going into this, kills are worth more in terms of an overall point percentage. So, and with this circle too, they've got no incentive to go east, Degon. They're just going to try and get looted, maybe try and get some early kills. I wouldn't mind that at all here. I want to see some action from these teams. It has been far too long since I've got to cast PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, it does look like Code and Polarace are splitting military base on the southern side right now, um, farming up. So it does look relatively close together on the big map, but they'll be relatively safe as they loot on up. Now, following along with Wildcard again, this is the roster that I think has a lot of potential here to be our dark horse to have a surprising mobile open finals here. Spring, formerly of the Omen Elite roster, I believe. He was playing with them with quite some time. I think had an opportunity to sub over in New York for the season 2. And he's always been just on the cusp, but a guy that's been around top North American PUBG Mobile for quite some time. So I'm excited to see what they do here today.
Yeah, I'm really stoked to see what they put together because, like you said, while the name might not be super familiar to everybody, if you're looking at big established orgs, the names on the roster itself are veterans in every sense of the word. Kind of getting a sense of where all these different teams are stacking up right now in apps here, coming on in. Seems to be because, like I said, George was one of these really hot ticket items. Yes, we'll go with that. It was Park Place. It was just a Monopoly board.
Great real estate.
Great real estate. That's it. And there's definitely going to be a bit of a scuffle over here. Everfury, it's got ears. Oh yeah, this is 3 different teams here towards Apps in North Georgia. This is going to get interesting, and they're not together either, which is going to make this a little bit more dicey. As I see, it's Diablo. Oh boy, this is going to be fun.
Yeah. Oh, early on, Everfury just driving through. He does take the risky path, but should be safe here. Again, as you said, quite congested in North Georgia. A lot of the apartment complexes where people want to roll to, but immediately just heading way north. Yugi and Everfury will be getting out. Simplicity following along with Russell, and they've had multiple moments every time we get to watch them. Russell leading the way, Russell, Goose, Irish, and Lolo. This same roster has been together for quite some time. They did kind of sneak on in. They were 15th place in qualifications, but they did finally make it through.
Yeah, they did. I mean, we've definitely had a chance to cast these guys multiple times. I've seen Goose go off. His long-range shots consistently excellent. Russell as well always likes to get up in the fray. And they're sort of running with 2s right now. Buddy system, which is kind of what to expect in this sort of close quarter situation here when you're in these urban areas. You want to make sure that you're not going into these buildings that an ally at least one over, because, you wander in on somebody, they're sitting in a corner, and you want to have some backup in that situation. Hurry, like angle grips as well. Good times.
Yeah, definitely. I think taking a look at just the North Georgia poll kind of setup, it's pretty scary right now for Endgame because Diablo's cut off from everybody else. Exclusive and Simplicity both holding apartments, and Diablo's just stuck on the bridge right now as we follow along with perennial favorites, Tempo Storm, the organization that really drives North American PUBG Mobile forward. There it is. There's Diablo, just kind of sitting in the water.
Lord of Terror.
He took a couple of shots and then he was forced to drop in the water, and Exclusive not willing to chase that kill quite yet.
No, I think that's a good call. That oftentimes can lead into thirsting for early kills. That's bait in some of these situations. You really just want to make sure if you're going to go and try and chase those down, not only do you have the loot that you need, but you've got your teammates at your back as well. And now we're starting to see teams get these vehicles, start to rotate, get into position. Nobody wants to get caught out here, especially on Military Island. Bridge camping as well is something that we oftentimes do see, though, given the fact that there's a good chance the circle's going to go north, I think there's a little bit less of a chance of us seeing in this game.
So relatively slow start here again. A little bit more space because Cloud9 not opting into playing because they don't have a roster to field. So a lot more space here on Erangel for these teams to just kind of rotate around. As it does look like some of our teams have made it out of military base. Code about to make that trek across the bridge, and they're gonna run into Polarace here. So Polarace set up for this bridge push. Let's see what happens, Paul.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Oh my, looking for a bit of a pinch here, potentially. But instead, I think they're just going to gun it. Not going to want to take those early fights. I'll see the Happy Campers over towards Novo. They're going to be able to take that other bridge uncontested. And yeah, it just looks like Polar Ace is just going to let him go. Coach is going to be able to get back over, no problem. We also did see an interesting sort of wide drop from Omen Elite on the west coast. They did not drop together. They often instead opted to go for sort of a more spread out looting pattern, which is working out really well here. And I don't think, he says 59 in the lobby, but have we seen a kill yet?
No, Omen Elite dropping only with 3. So another thing we'll get an update on in just a second. It looked like they had all 4. Nico was having trouble hopping on in. Nico, formerly of Tempo Storm, again, part of that roster shuffle that North America did at the beginning of 2020. So the starting roster here for Omen Elite, Zute, Angry, Juicy, and Nico. So we'll see all 4 members next round, but at this round, Omen Elite starting off with only 3.
So I'm going to say, if there's 3 players you want to have in a lobby to try and make that work, it's probably these 3. These are some of the most consistent veteran players in the NA scene. Zute, whether it be as a player or a coach, or manager, you know, he's kind of done all the different roles, but he just spent a lot of time analyzing the game, very much a student of the game. And I know you said you got a chance to like watch his streams and listen to his insight. You always find it really, really impactful.
Yeah, Zute, again, I think is one of the smartest players in North America. And it's cool when you see guys that are leaders and are willing to be brains of a team, and it doesn't come at the cost of their gunpowder. Like Zute is not afraid to take those fights and hop on into those situations if he knows, hey, this is what we have to do at this time. I'm more than willing to take it. And we see him more times than not win those one-on-ones and at times 1v2s.
That's the level of the caliber of gunplay that you have to have at this point. It's just reps. It's really just making sure that every gun feels comfortable in your hand. You know how you're going to control the recoil. Finally, we're starting to see some action on the kill feed as Everfury is going down. Pittsburgh Knights here as well. PK is an interesting team because they're a team that came in, I remember, you know, early seasons of the Mobile Open, and they had okay performances. Like, they consistently made it to playoffs, but they have stepped up as an organization over the last year, just getting better and better, iterating on the roster. And it's been cool to see this team progress.
Yep. Pittsburgh Knights, again, just a staple of the scene as we now see our first kill. Everfury getting finished off. So, again, the early shenanigans not quite paying off. It was a split push earlier by End, and they find an early end for them. Endgame now losing one of their veteran members in the form of Everfury.
And I believe it was Execute Esports who ended up getting that first kill there. Execute, again, one of these names that I'm not as familiar with. So I'm excited to see them start things off. I guess our first blood on the server. And that's always exciting to see. Fate maybe got even eyes on the rest of the team here. This is a potential collapse. Fate's off way on the flank right now. He does have eyes feeding the info to the rest of his team, but instead he's just going to have to take some shots. But the blue is moving on in. He's going to have to rotate himself. He does have a vehicle there. Just opted to get some cheeky shots over. And the team actually does take down Yogi as well. A second knock for Execute Esports, living up to the name. Yogi! Oh, I remember.
So Yogi getting taken down there because he told the rest of his team to go. See what I did there? And Endgame not pausing at all. And Ironside not able to drive slow enough to pick up Yugi. It was funny. As soon as the shots came down, everyone kind of went different ways. And then Ironside hopped into the vehicle and left him. So 2 kills now, both to Execute Esports is doing just that, executing their game plan and executing the opponents.
Solid play. And of course, Ironside, another veteran in the community here with Diablo, who was able to get himself out of that early precarious situation. These two just need to try and survive now. They need to take the smart plays. They need to, you know, get into a compound, take position, and try and survive at this point, because the chances of them getting downs that are actually able to be transitioned into kills, very slim with only 2 players. However, getting some placement points is still in the cards for them.
Yeah, definitely is. Waiting for this circle to pop, though. I think that's what will be a big telltale where we move next. We follow along with E25, Kodo, PG, Killswitch, Cha-Cha. Again, guys that we've seen time and time again, this time under the G25 moniker. looking to find more success. And, they actually qualified second. They were the second best team in qualifiers behind only Tempo Storm, ahead of Pittsburgh Knights and Tribe. So Kodo, again, always been on the cusp of these top teams and being in that conversation of best team in North America, but hasn't quite found the right chemistry, the right mix of players. And now with Cloud9 out and qualifying in second place, even with Cloud9 in the qualifiers, maybe they found the right way.
Yeah, I mean, coming in, as I mentioned before, hundreds and hundreds of teams tried to make it here to this playoffs for season 4, and only these 16 have gotten it done. So coming in as the second seed is an achievement in and of itself. So clearly this combination of players is doing something right. I can't wait to see how they take some of these gunfights in the mid game here to really see how they flex under pressure. That's always my big question mark for these teams, especially ones who are up and coming or trying to make it break into the top echelon of play, is how they deal with pressure. What decisions do they make when their backs are against the wall? And how does the communication look? Because it's really obvious to tell, even just as a spectator, even as somebody, in third person through the camera, see how players move around each other, how they're talking. And that to me is the hallmark of a great team.
Yeah, definitely agree as follow along here with Azor. Azor was part of the Misfits roster that got first place, so we're untouchable, basically untouchable, moving on in to season 1 when we really kicked this whole thing off, and moved on when Cloud9 made the shift, or when Misfits made the shift to Cloud9. Azor did not follow along with that team, and now with Enigma, Slicky, in spring, I think have some great firepower. But I wanted to go back to your point about the way that top teams work here, because we were following along with Tempo Storm, and this is a team that is just constantly like rotated out their rosters. They've survived different roster moves, but again, there's just so much stability in their organization and their management and how things run that I think lead it to always being a top contender. Like Tempo almost didn't make the last Mobile Open finals, but once they made it there, things were okay. They performed pretty well. So it's, even with changed rosters and roster moves, they find a way to bounce back.
It's so interesting too, because Tempo was the rock for so long. For so long, they didn't have a roster change. And then when they finally did, things just weren't quite clicking for them. They felt anyway, that's when things started to go a little bit awry. And, this really just top untouchable team started to look a little bit more human. Again, despite some of the LAN performances, again, like you mentioned before, Misfits season 1 was just disgusting to watch. That was so much fun to cast. But still now, Tempo Storm, it feels like the fact that they've got the backbone, they've got the stability in management and organization that has allowed them to just bring in consistently excellent players and elevate them even further.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder about last season's champs in Space Station Gaming. All those guys now kind of scattered across multiple different teams. Where's Rolex? Where's Beach Banana? Angry and Juicy now over at Omen Elite. So it kind of interesting to see Sixless was over with Cloud9 for a little while. He was obviously removed. And so that's a telltale between, I think, a team of good guys and an org that's able to create stability. And that's why we always praise those teams that have been around for quite some time, as we follow along with HH24. He was part of the team that was first in the semifinals for PMCO. That was Team Totality. They had just a heck of a streak of form right before the finals of the ESL Mobile Open Season 3 finals. And now he finds himself over on Tempo Storm with his teammate Tensa as well. So Tempo making a couple of roster change again, but fostering in some great talent.
Yeah, and this is huge. Again, the ability just to give these players a home where they feel valued and continue to thrive, which is obviously great. I mean, the PUBG Mobile ecosystem as a whole, bringing in all these great organizations. Obviously, again, Space Station Gaming no longer here. Maybe they'll make an appearance in the future. Who knows? But it's the idea that there's a lot of platforms, a lot of different opportunities, whether it be in the Mobile Open or now with PMCO, for players to make a name for themselves. And it's hilarious to me to think back to season 1. You and I cast, and it seems so long ago, over a year ago now. We had a fraction of the orgs involved in season 1 that we do now. So many of these players through competitions like this have been able to get themselves on these teams, and orgs look at this and go, no, there's a lot of value to be had in this game, but also the fact that we still, despite how long it's been, despite how much and how far the community has come, that there are still teams unsigned showing up here competing with the big boys. That's what I love to see, is the fact that still over a year later, players can just show up, compete, grind, and say, look, I deserve to play with the quote-unquote pros here in the top of the Mobile Open.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see the next circle finally popping. Very slow. And this is typical of
slow.
Every single game 1. Game 1 is always really slow. Everyone's like, all right, we're just feeling it out. We want to make sure we don't get killed by tempo. So we don't want to drop anywhere near Pachinki. We don't want to be the first rotate. But now we have a massive excursion heading on over to the Razak area, Ruins area. It's going to be a lot of kills very fast. I hope you're ready for your play-by-play, Paul.
Oh, I'm ready. It's not like we have any delay doing this remotely or anything, so this is going to be totally flawless, Degon. Don't you worry. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Simplicity, JCR, Pittsburgh Knights, Omen Elite, Accelerate, Tempo, Tribe, all sitting on top of each other. As now Wildcard starting to take shots early on here against Strangers BD. Will Strangers be able to hold off? We'll find out.
The big question mark. Omen Elite trying to get up on the high ground, but now we're jumping back on board with Wildcard. We have ooh, he's getting some shots in. Nice long range shots. Red dot, no problem. Azor and crew able to get it done. There's Slicky. Remember I talked about Slicky's long range shots? I still remember that clip of you going off the finals. Don't get me wrong, that was in every highlight reel, Degon.
Because it needed to be in every highlight reel. It was insane. But Slicky able to pick up a couple knocks there. And so 2 kills heading on over to Wildcard at the expense of Strangers. And Strangers, one of those teams that I wanted to talk about a little bit because we don't know a ton about them. Batman, Revenge, Cobra, and Enigma. Bondu also on that roster as well. And they're the ones that kind of rotated in, and they're stuck in the middle of nowhere. If they rotate on out, yeah, it's a little late now. Omen Elite's rotating on into their south. Wildcard, as you saw, is to their north, and there's one more team yet to have moved. It's Execute that's going to be coming in from the west. So Strangers probably just going to have to hide just like that. Hide under the rock. It's going to be a tough wait.
Yeah, at this point, Revenge just needs to stay alive, just needs to try and survive through the flurry of bullets that is inevitably going to be coming his way. Spring's got eyes on the rock in question. If he tries to make a move for that vehicle, Spring is potentially going to be there to try and shut him down. Bondu is going to lead out here in just a bit. Spring just trying to keep the pressure and knock the tires on that vehicle, making sure that he cannot make a hasty escape as Bondu does bleed out. That's a nice little play there from Wildcard.
Yeah, Spring and the boys just really have Strangers' number. No Strangers to Stranger right now. Revenge is just going to have to sit on that rock. Luckily for Revenge, though, Execute is making a big wrap around the northern side of this circle. If Wildcard see them or start feeling a little bit of pressure, might buy Revenge a little bit of time to get himself to safety. But Revenge really doesn't have many places to go. Look at that. Just 1, 2, 3 trees nearby, plus that broken down vehicle.
Yeah, but I mean, again, the potential for the third party is getting very, very real now. We're now jumping back on board with Tempo as well. We've got themselves a little bit of terrain to play around. Wait a second, is this the second box that's dropped on them? Pretty sure, yeah, that's an in Rain's hands. Okay, all right. I ain't mad. I mean, I'd be mad if I was everybody else in the lobby, but yikes. This is some good time for Tempo.
Yeah, Tempo doesn't really need that much more help. What the heck is this? As I'm taking a look at the map overall, you can see Rain just kind of checking back and forth. He sees a little bit of Tribe, sees a little bit of JCR, and Rain again, one of these long-standing members of the ever-changing Tempo Storm roster. Taking a peek with Omen Elite. I said they were on the eastern part of Revenge, but I think they heard the gunshots from Wildcard. They don't want to try to take a chance against that. To their south, Simplicity. That's what you see on the map there. Irish and Lolo might be the team that Zute and the boys decide to take on here.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be the worst decision of all time here from Omen. Actually, it might be affected only down to 3 players. I take that one back. I was like, oh, 4, they want to go in. Yeah, they can test themselves up against Simplicity, who've got great shots, don't get me wrong. But at this point, again, Omen starting the lobby with a little bit of a disadvantage. They just need to try and take the best fights they can. But I'm looking at G25 right now. They are a stone's throw away from Ace over here. Both of these teams just staring each other down. There's a road in the middle. Feels like an old-timey Western D-Gon.
Yeah. Don't cross this line. Otherwise, you're mine. Did I do good?
You done good, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. That's all I need. I'm a words of affirmation guy. So thanks for always knowing how to support your co-caster here. Is exclusive now going to make the move across as the circle's coming on in. Gunshots coming on through. And exclusive now just driving on by, fought along with Happy Campers. They're on the southern side of the map, and they're gatekeeping Accelerate and Pittsburgh Knights. So it'll be quite a party there on the southern side for these teams that haven't gone into the circle yet.
Oh my. But speaking of gatekeeping, on the outskirts here on the west, Tense is looking downrange, and he's got the big boy gun to play with. He is holding on to the shots. The rest of the team, I imagine, is going to get in position, or they just don't want to give themselves away at this point because they are in between a lot of different teams here. He could potentially get a knock at the situation. You look at that, you're like, oh, I'm playing in pub games. Why would I not take that shot? I've got a big gun. Of course, now he does and takes it, but still, the idea that you don't want to give yourself away until you are prepared to fight, as we are seeing more kills come on through on the kill feed. Now the action's starting to heat up. They have got to move. Only 23 seconds left before the shifts. You can see vehicles up towards school as well, trying to make their way in. As we have Code trying to make an entrance, as Accelerate is starting to pick up some kills.
Yeah, Accelerate picking up a couple there. Jagger getting finished off, so that'll be Accelerate on the board. Also Iron Sight, the final member of Endgame. We saw Endgame get pushed to the endgame immediately. Picks up a kill on his former teammate. So Ironside killing Spring. Both those guys used to be on Omen Elite at the beginning, season 1. Now found themselves on different rosters, and Endgame going to be okay. Oh, well, maybe.
But Diablo is not going to be. As Wildcard's looking to pick up some kills. That's one of these rosters. So here we go. JCR is looking to push on into Omen right now, and Omen potentially in a little bit of a world of hurt. There's Angry down towards the car. The team is trying to get the stuff, but no! JCR just getting immediately shut down, going in 2 and 2. But the shots from over the ridge are able to take them down. That was a disastrous push, D-Gon.
Yep, Zute is pretty chunked right now. The circle is coming on in, so it's going to force a very difficult position for them to continue their push against Omen Elite. All the while, Tensa is like, yeah, we'll take those kills. Tempo just coming on in and shooting a bunch of pot shots. Nice nade pick up there by Juicy, though.
Yeah, we do see the double kill with the nade. Code's going down as well in the kill feed. A lot of action now as the circle is shrinking. So many players still alive. Tempo's deciding it's time to relocate. They're not in a whole lot of pressure from other teams, but they want to get an early pass at this new circle right now, leaving a 1 player behind, though, as they are going to continue to push in up ahead. Omen now, it's a 2v2 situation right now, but pushing on in is JCR. No smoke, no cover, and no life.
Yeah, Juicy able to pick that one up, gets the peak. One more member of JCR still alive, trying to heal through. Doesn't have that far to go, and just buying time, hoping that Omen Elite leaves. You can use the third party mode here as they're following along the way that we see it right now, and so he can see over this ridge. Sammy gonna chuck another nade at that tree, the only tree that Omen Elite has been holding for quite some time. Tempo, it looks like they're no longer watching this ridge. And so it might be a clear pass through. Oh, Juicy does get chunked there by that last nade by Sammy. Sammy not able to finish it off. So Zute and Juicy holding on to just that one tree right now.
Oh, that's all it takes, though, D-Gon. That's all it takes. The 2v1. That's the trade. Yes, Zute goes down, but Juicy's going to be able to get him back up. No problem. I mean, nice shots coming on in at the end there from Sammy just to try and at least go even. I mean, if that had been the case, if it had been a one-on-one, I think he actually would have won that situation. So nice shots coming in from him, but the team play of Omen was there. They've survived for now, but still a lot of action on the other side of the circle. Seeing G25, all 4 members still alive. Get Polarize across the street still, the stand, but they're getting pinched a little bit right now. A lot of teams in the vicinity.
Yeah, you can see the health bar is a little chunked here for Polarace, as well as the fact that Iron Sight is hovering around here in the north. He could be a wild card factor. He's dry. Is he running? He's definitely going on through right now. I think he's
running. As you see, Polar is trying to get away. Kato trying to take those shots, not quite able to land. Rio's the next one, and he does get found there. The M16 rings true for Kato. And now Devil trying to get himself out to safety. He'll be able to do so. And now G25 have to get themselves out. No, he gets blown up, so Kodo able to pick up the kill. Ironsight has been finished off, so that's our first team getting knocked out here in season. Now THC on in on they'll pick up the kills, but G25 get themselves into safety.
Yeah, we're down to only 9 teams still up, still alive through this. The action has been swift. Now that we're getting to these final circles, you can hear the shots raining out on your screen right now. But Accelerate is here with only 2 members. G25 has taken over the warehouse, but this is an interesting situation to try and leave from because they don't have the terrain right now. Accelerate, if they want to, can potentially act as gatekeepers. These vehicles are going to be very important. G25 is going to be able to, going to have to be able to, throw out some shots while they make their escape simultaneously. They're setting the way with smokes to make sure they've got additional level of cover. This is why utility is so important at this level of play.
Yeah, and of course, after I call Wildcard as my sleeper team to make it out, they aren't able to make it out of the circle. They fall out in 9th place. So now we're in the top half of teams. You've got Code, Tribe, THC, Simplicity, Accelerate, Execute. Surprisingly here, G25, all the members there, and Tempo. Omen was I think finished off by Tempo, who is still holding that ridge.
Tempo Storm just had a lot of things go very well for them so far this game, but Accelerate is also trying to make the best of this one. I called it. Trying to go out of this compound is going to be very difficult. Accelerate trying to shut them down. It's 2v1 situation right now, but Atsuki cannot get it done. Asazuki unable to make it happen. This was this little bit of cover. He had the Defilite right there to try and work behind that little ridge, but G25 through strength of numbers able to get them out. Although the circle is making it difficult. They've got to leave the teammates behind. Did they make it out?
No, he did not.
Goodness, but this is position right now. Tempo Storm is back in. THG is just down over the oh, the nades are going off. The shots with the AK there as well. The happy campers ain't so happy right now because Tempo Storm is playing them like a fiddle, and that's 2 kills going over their way. Tempo Storm have been going off this game, T-Gon. What are we witnessing?
Yeah, they rotated early and they've had position all game long, and as we know these players can do, just absolutely just wrecking them now that it's just everyone hopping over the ridge. Right now it looks like target practice for Rain. Everyone just running straight at him right now. He's going to be able to pick up everything in the off that body, loot back on up, get himself the utility that he needs, get himself those needs. As Tribe now trying to claw their way back on in. Not many teams left right now outside of trying to just to get those last couple of points. It's Code, Execute, and Tribe against the 4 members of Tempo Storm.
And Tempo Storm is doing this really interestingly. They've split themselves up in 2 groups of 2, and they've each taken over one of these different ridge lines. It's kind of like a Y-shaped ridge line, so their backs are to each other, and the shots are going on through. But the headshot from Spray! No need to pray on that one. He was aiming it down the line. Beautiful shot to take down Spectre right there. Don't peek, he says. Do not peek.
Yeah, he was somehow able to get himself an AWM. The revive attempting to get picked up there, but Tensa does get chunked as well. So now this little spread out setting that you talked about, not so good for Tempo Storm as they do get chunked out here. Prime does get naded. He's knocked, and we know Spray is already just sniping on the corner scene. If he's able to pick up a couple kills, it's going to be difficult for them to get the revive back on up. So basically a 3.5 versus 1v1.
But Outsider is down here. He's acting as the Outsider right now. Spray eventually is going to drop, it looks like, on the outside. But Outsider could potentially be, the one to come in and throw a wrench spanner into the works, as it were. Spectre is still off on the other side, the flank. The 3 of them have now grouped up together, rallying around Spectre's. Outsider is trying to crawl his way in right now. As we do see Tempo Storm regrouping. All 4 members are here. They've got the smokes. They've got the circle. They've got the position. Outsider is trying to heal up through this. He just wants to survive as best he can. He just wants that 2nd place finish.
Yeah, and not too bad of a showing here for Fame Boys for Execute. They're doing a heal off right now. Fame Boys and Outsider just healing on through. 3 more first aid kits here for Outsider. Fame Boy's a little bit further out. You can see the wide camera view. So who's gonna get it? Who has more med kits? I think it's 2 more for Fame Boys and only 1 here for Outsider. So I do think that Execute's going to pick it up, but Tempo just another clinic. What can you say? There it is. Outsider goes down. Fameboy's going to give it a run. He's spotted. Spec says, thank you very much. We'll take the chicken dinner in the first game.
And that's not the most climactic ending we've seen yet. But like you mentioned before, it's only game number 1. Both of these players trying to play for positioning. Both of them trying to just take it easy. They want to say, look, I just want to try and heal off. I just want to try and get those additional points, because the difference between second and third is pretty dramatic. But there was no question in my mind the Tempo Storm was going to get first in that last game. They looked convincing.
Yeah, they did. 13 kills there for Tempo. Again, they drop in Pachinki. Everyone gives them the respect that they deserve, thinking that they'll still have a chance. But Tempo loads up early, then finds the right spot in the circle, gets blessed by the circle gods, and then just basically we're picking people off left and right. You go back to the fight between JCR and Omen Elite, and it was just very much, hey, we're going to let you guys knock each other, and then we'll get the flushes, and then whoever gets the final couple kills will clean up from there. And then again, getting to those ridges, they had to take a couple of fights. I think they took on 4v4, but then after that, you called it. They went on a split, and they were able to just get everyone running into the ridge, and it was just easy pickings.
Yeah, the way that circle ended up moving for them just was so beneficial. And I think the biggest thing was they were always proactive with their rotations. They went in, they had a vehicle, they played it smart, they set up camp. Okay, who's coming from where? All right, now I move to the next spot. Now I move to the next. It wasn't this like a mad dash, long bomb. Oh, we got to go now. Obviously, the way the circles rotated definitely did play them a bit of a favor, but the way they took what they were given was executed beautifully. And again, I think they were only knocked once in the course of the entire game. They kept all 4 members alive, so pretty much a flawless game from them with 13 kills. But you know what, Degon? I want to take a look back at this game with our Xperia analysis. Break down some of the highlights for us, please.
Yeah, again, just you can see it right here. Tempo just kind of playing these pot shot games, and when you're going against some of the top fragging players in North America, it doesn't really bode well when they have the position and the high ground. This was a cool fight there with Omen Elite, and then Kodo picking off one, and then taking the aggressive play here on Devil and willing to step on out and get a couple more pops here as he steps out, and we got the explosion from the vehicle. And then Spray, that was the really only time that we felt that Tempo got pushed off here. But I like that we saw stuff from Code. We got to see stuff from Execute. So a couple of these smaller teams that we're not used to seeing as much, all of a sudden popping up and finding themselves battling with some of the big boys. Love that.
Yeah, it was just really solid play from a lot of these teams. Again, it really didn't even necessarily feel like, ranking meant a whole lot coming into this. Obviously, again, Tempo the first seed and coming away in first will mean something, but it was a positioning game. The team with the better position won. It just consistently, the level of gunplay has just flattened out so beautifully. Yes, you saw that 1v1 sniper battle, and one player is going to come out on top, but at this level of play, decision-making is key, and that's really what we're seeing here. The field has just leveled so much when it comes to individual gun skill, and that bodes really well for the competitive scene, because now they get to put on the big brain hats, and they just get to start to 200 IQ some of these plays, and that's what I love to see. But that's game number 1 in the books. Before we go to game number 2, before we jump on a short break, I got to give a big shout out, a big thank you so much to the presenting partner of the ESL Mobile Open. Of course, I am talking about AT&T, without whom none of this would be possible, supporting us from the beginning with the grassroots of mobile esports, giving these players a platform on which to compete. And a lot of the jumps, a lot of the elevation and skill we've seen over the last year has been in part because of this event, because of the Mobile Open, and because of the opportunities in part that AT&T has given. And if you want to compete, if you want to get involved, if you want to take your game to the next level, and I mean the next level and the level after that, I'm talking about PMC on PMPL, you can do so. Sign up for Season 5 right now. Signups are live. So if you want to get involved, you can absolutely do so. ! Sign up in the chat. And of course, who doesn't like free stuff? I like free stuff. I think you guys like free stuff too. There's a giveaway going on. If you sign up for an email newsletter, if you stay up to date with all things ESL Mobile Open, you also get entered into a draw to win, I don't know, maybe one of 4 awesome Bluetooth speakers provided by AT&T. I don't know, maybe like an Xperia 1, like you see next to me, brought to you by Sony. That's the kind of thing that you want to get your hands on. Trust, not this one though. This is my phone. Don't take it. But if you want one of your own, definitely go sign up for that. We're going to jump onto a short break. When we come back, it is game number 2. We'll see you in a bit.
This is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
You leave it to me. I'll get your taxes in an okay place.
What?
Well, just as soon as my audit is over, this gets my undivided attention.
Take a lot of trips to the islands, Phil.
Pretty great, right? Oh, Phil's legally dead. Fell off a boat. Going by Dennis now. Solari. Long story. Then we got, oh, no, you're not gonna want to see this.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Just okay is not okay. AT&T has America's best network, now with our best plans at our best prices, starting at $35 a line for 4 lines, new from AT&T.
This is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
Hello and welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open Season 4 Finals. I'm your host, Inverum. We just saw game number 1 for PUBG Mobile. Tempo Storm walked away with the win in convincing fashion. The day is off to a hot start. But before we get into game number 2, I need to remind you guys about a little something. You know, it's maybe been a little bit for the PUBG Mobile community. You haven't heard me talk about this for a little while. But of course, AnyKey, the Good Luck Have Fun Pledge. This is an awesome initiative we are doing with AnyKey in partnership with ESL in order to make the worlds of gaming that we live in just a little bit of a more positive place, making gaming inclusive for everyone, taking a stand against toxicity. And again, the PUBG Mobile community can be amazing, full of so many personalities. And obviously, of course, we want to make sure that we're keeping it as positive and free of toxicity as possible. And I actually got an awesome opportunity to sit down and chat with some folks in the broader esports community as a whole and get their thoughts on AnyKey and the pledge. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is D1 Ala Mengret.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
My name is Bill Carter. My handle is Jump.
My name is Christopher Michaels, better known as Monte Cristo.
Hey guys, I'm Michelle Morrow, and I'm on-camera talent for both esports and the world of entertainment.
I think it's important that people are made aware that their behavior is not acceptable if you're going to throw out bigoted terms or target somebody for that kind of harassment.
So dealing with toxicity, even just on a normal day-to-day basis, when I game, I just like to be sort of an anonymous gamer, and to this day, I am scared to use my mic.
I think that anytime you can sit someone down that has a negative mindset or has a sense of toxicity, think about who you're affecting.
If I had the ability to confront a troll face to face, they would not be the keyboard warrior that they are inside of the game.
The GLHF pledge is super important. Anything that's encouraging people to promote positivity, to promote understanding, to promote sympathy.
It's cool to see that people are going above and beyond to be a voice for those from a community that may not be as well represented in gaming. You do matter.
GLHF.
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 Good luck. Have fun.
Well, you heard it there. Good luck. Have fun. GLHF, if you want to take the pledge, get an exclusive Twitch badge, be part of over 450,000 people who have already taken the pledge. Exclamation point GLHF in the chat is where you can find that. But let's get back to the games. Degon, you're back invisible this time. Excellent. Excellent.
Back and visible, not back invisible.
Yes, that was a key distinction. Thank you. Let's take a look at this leaderboard, bud. Walk me through this, because that was an interesting game. So much happened at the end there. I kind of caught the last few kills and placements, but sort of like 10 through 6 were a bit of a bloodbath.
Yeah, I would say that the big thing is. that I'm just surprised that it's Tempo Storm and then 2 of these lesser known teams. Like, we know Tribe, we know G25, we talked about them, we're expecting them to do better, but Execute and Code were impressive. And I even think back to, although they're down in the last place, JCR taking on Omen Elite in that 1v1 where they got stuck on the hill. So a lot of the action that we followed were teams that are some of the newer teams, I would say. So I think that was a really cool to notice. But, you know, we didn't get to really talk too much about Omen. They were only 3 players. Wildcard had a little bit of action early, fell out. We didn't get to talk about Pittsburgh Knights all that much as well. So some of these heavy hitters not having the air angle that they wanted. And again, Tempo just taking all the points for themselves, doing tempo things where they just take control of the map, and everyone else, you're lucky if you even have the opportunity to play.
Yeah, 33 points to start off any best of 5 is quite a way to do so, to say the least. The lobby is getting underway, so we'll be able to get into game number 2 here in just a moment. I am so excited to see who can challenge Tempo now, because they've set the tone. They've set the pace. You want to talk about momentum? They have planted their flag on the hill. They've said, look, this is our lobby. This is what we are going to do. And now it is a challenge to anybody else to try and take it from them.
Yeah, and that's what they do every time. Like Tempo, and I think that's why when we saw them last back in season 3, they almost didn't qualify, and it's because they're aggressive. They're more than willing to stake their claim, and if it backfires, it doesn't go so well. But if it works, they're one of the best teams in North America.
Absolutely. So as soon as the players are locked and ready to go, we are going to get into this next game. Want to make sure everybody loads on into the lobby. But yes, I mean, I think Execute Esports coming in and having the performance that they did was just amazing to start that off. Not only did they were able to accrue themselves some kills, but they also had just a seriously solid performance there at the end, opting to just try and heal off, and they actually won the heal off battle. That's quite a difference in terms of points between third and second as well. Fame Boys at the end, I wasn't necessarily sure that was the correct decision. I thought maybe he could even try to push, because I'm not sure if he actually had an angle on the last remaining member of the other squad that he was facing off against. I was like, maybe try and go aggressive, but no, they played it patient and ended up walking away with the W there. But of course, Tempo Storm, the damage had already been done. So there it is. We're having a slight delay with one of our observers, so we are going to have to put a slight unfortunate pin in this for just a second here as the teams do get ready for this lobby. But, let's talk about the idea, of course, now that we are integrating more maps into the map pool. This is obviously something that if you've watched other competitive PUBG mobile competitions, you're very familiar with. Talk to us a little bit, Degon. Obviously, we usually just play Erangel here in the mobile open, occasionally a little bit in the jungle. But this time around, talk to us a little bit about these other maps.
Yeah, so I think we'll see all 5 or all 4 maps here. And then we get double Erangel because that's the standard map. Everyone plays on top of that. But we haven't seen Miramar here. And Miramar is much more open. It's a lot more strategic, and it's less like, hey, look, we're in close quarters or mid-range gunfights. It's a lot of when you decide to make your coordinated move together. And I really like seeing how teams play on Miramar, because aggressive teams like Tempo theoretically can struggle on Miramar, because when they make a move, if they're spotted out, you get punished. So that's generic PUBG Mobile. But like, there are so many more places, so many more clips, so many more ways to protect yourself, but still take pot shots at teams that do make big moves. So I'm excited to see that. The other thing I'm excited to see is how these teams that are lesser known, exclusive and code, do in terms of consistency. That's really what separates the good teams from the great teams in North America. It's the consistency of these teams to find first place or to find placement points when it looks desperate. And that's why I like the way that Endgame played it. They lost their members so early, but Ironsight was still able to get something for the rest of his team. And that's a testament to him being a pro and being around for such a long time and knowing the competitive space. Can these younger, lesser known teams do the same thing?
Pulling a rabbit out of a hat, making the best of a bad situation. Again, that one of these hallmarks. That's one of the touch points we'll talk about over the course of this broadcast. We talk about the idea of communication and what you can deal with under pressure and just those clutch moments. What makes these really, truly top level competitive players? And again, your teammates may be down and out. It may be you up against the world, but if you see those angles, if you hear the shots raining down around you, but you can find your path, you can find your way through to that better placement, to maybe even picking up a couple kills of your own. That's how you take a team who may have been in 11th or 12th place and get them in 4th or 5th place. And those points over the course of 5 games makes such a difference, and that's really where we see these teams snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And I'm stoked to see more of that clutch play.
Yes, but with Tempo just taking such a big share, like it was such a big share. Again, there's only 64 players in the lobby, and to get 13 kills and first place, that's just, it's going to be, I imagine it has to be a team that wins. I can't imagine a team that doesn't get a chicken dinner finds themselves in first place.
That's fair enough. I can't disagree with that. As the game is ready to go, we are getting into the action here on Miramar. A lot bigger of a map with only 16 teams. I would be the most surprised human being if we saw any early action. Standard South-North drop. Military's not really going to be in the cards for a lot of these teams. But we could have some fun around Fight Club.
Well, I would say a lot of the time teams love drop at Picado. It's always a great spot to start there. Monte Nuevo, also another good movement spot. And then teams that try to hop into the southern part of El Pozo, you get a nice little, there's a nice little lift there. I think it's Power Grid is in that area where you can start looting on up. So that's a lot of the eastern side. On the western side, you can have 2 to 3 teams in Los Leones and be safe. Impala and play along the outskirts. Junkyard always good. So it's interesting because this is the first time that we get to see it on how these teams play around this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is the first time we're seeing this map here in the Mobile Open. We'll see if we have any fun fights around Hacienda. That's always good. Always a good time. Is it still the school of Miramar?
Yeah, I guess so.
always in the pub games, man. Just always want to drop, get all that loot, and don't care about the consequences. As we are jumping on board with Spectre and Tempo Storm. Of course, our winners from this last game, but they are not alone. Degon, Simplicity's here. I believe Execute Esports is here as well. It's Fate. Yeah,
Fate was like, see you later. Russell's in a lot of trouble, though.
Potentially. Yeah, Russell is completely surrounded. I know their moniker is Keep It Simple, but this is very complicated for him right now.
Yeah, Russell just with the shoddy, trying to hunt down the 1 kill. Might be able to get himself out to safety. Vehicle right there, going to smoke it up and try to get himself out. Rain is at the gas station and can take a peek. Goose as well out on the outskirts. But there it is. That's what I was talking about. Rain could possibly think about taking some shots, but he's just going to continue to loot up and leave him alone. And so Russell making the escape. Spec not going to be able to get away. Yeah, Rain a little bit too late. And there it is. Iron Sight now hopping on into the kill feed and knocking 2 members. What a shot there by Rain, able to chunk Russell just a little bit. But it's Iron Sight able to get back G25, and look at that. Endgame able to get themselves on the board.
Well, it's official. I am the most surprised human being because I didn't think we'd see any early action here on Miramar, but boy, was I mistaken. Simplicity able to rally, get back together, but wow, that shot from range just chunking through Russell. No body armor to speak of, so that shot's going to do a world of hurt when it does connect, moving on to Church. And yeah, Happy Campers as well. They just snuck their way into this lobby. Coming in the 16th seed. So they have definitely got a lot to prove for their squad here. One of these teams that we have had the joy to cast on multiple occasions, and I'm excited to see what they can do in this lobby.
Yeah, they are. They're a staple of the PUBG and PUBG mobile scenes. So Happy Campers able to eke their way on in as that final seed. As we take a look to the circle, pretty far northeast. That's not where the plane path went, and that's not where most of our teams dropped on in. That information is known by all the teams. So THC, we just talked about them, are going to head all the way on up and around. Wild card with Spring still just not with the weapon that he wants. Has the Uzi. He wants to make sure he finds something else to utilize here. Has the Tommy gun on his back as well. That's a yikes.
That's a big yikes. Look, man, I've seen the clips on Twitter. I know what happens when you get a Uzi in some of these late game circles. It can be a lawnmower, to say the least. But having it at the stage in the game on this map, maybe not ideal.
Yeah, this is where the DMR meta kind of arose from for a little while in PUBG, just because Miramar started becoming more prevalent in the game, in the map rotation, and now being part of competitive. There's so much distance here. You just want to make sure you can tap your opponent from quite a distance away. So that, the DP and its lack of recoil, those are ones that you normally see here. In that last game, we got to see a couple of bombs, which was pretty cool. But I expect to see DMRs and fighting from distance.
Yeah, at least for the first 15, 20 minutes of this game, to say the least. Getting optics is going to be a big thing here for a lot of these players. Obviously, you can do what you do with an iron sight, you can do what you do with a red dot, but having a nice 4x or something even bigger goes a long way for some of these players, just given how spread out a lot of these extended fights are going to be. And it also comes down to team play and positioning there, because if you get caught out, they'll just finish you. The thirst is very real here, because there is no chance they're going to close that gap and try and take you out any other way. So your teammates have got to be on point to try and get you into cover, whether it be from smokes, whether it be behind a rock or on a ridge, and then get you up ASAP, because finishing kills can be difficult, but when teams are on point, when they're communicating together, they'll just do it instantly.
Yeah, they definitely will. Making sure you're with your team, the comms are good to go. Pretty important as we move to the later stages. But a lot of the times, I think it's interesting, right? Because these teams have been playing together for quite some time. Obviously, they qualified to the finals, and how much better can your comms get? How much clearer can your comms get? That's really when you start getting into the weeds of separating the best teams in North America, the Tempo Storms compared to everybody else. Your fragging ability, relatively good. Again, JCR seemed like they were on the same page with their push. They just ran into both Tempo and Omen Elite in the last one. But I want to see what they do more in this next team fight, where they're not the ones that are getting pinned early on.
I'd be curious to find out what they're just look at their team card. They're just Team JCR. I want to know what JCR stands for. I'm legitimately curious now. Maybe one of our admins or somebody can message us, or we can ask the players. That would be kind of cool. Oh, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, that's Slicky.
Rain and Slicky. This is quite the battle. Oh, Slicky is it's a 1v2. I didn't recognize that.
They were stacked on top of each other on the mini map. Oh my goodness, Slicky! Yeah, just reverse. Get me out of here. This is two members of Tempo Storm with the high ground advantage, and that is never a situation you want to be in.
Yeah, where are they? I'm trying to figure this out on the map. They're a little bit outside of Los Leones there. Near Picado and Los Leones, there's a building, and there you go, Tensa and HX24. They're more than happy to back.
Watch out.
Oh boy.
It could be difficult to get them
in that distance, but Wildcard not shying away from a fight.
That's why I mentioned before, getting those optics is super important, and you can see Rain demonstrating that right now. Going on in, having the bigger gun with the 4x, that's a decent situation. They have reset, reconvened, both these teams looking at each other over the rise, over the ridge. But Tempo still feeling pretty comfortable with their position in all this. And Wildcard's just saying, look, we don't need to take this fight. We'll just peace. We'll just dip.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. I was like, wait, what's happening? And then the motorcycle spawned out of nowhere. That's because the motorcycle was always there. It was still in the process of rendering. I was like, why is Tempo here? They had their vehicles.
Totally fine. A-OK. Now we're jumping on board with Tribe. Tribe, of course, if you look at mobile gaming organizations in North America, look no further than Tribe Gaming. Having teams not only here competing for PUBG, but their team also competed in the finals and won the finals for Clash of Clans on Friday. So having a lot of fun in the Mobile Open so far this weekend. Also, I believe I saw Gordon Hayward did some investment there, added another round of funding as well, coming in with the NBA. So Tribe Gaming, a lot of success for the organization. Let's see if their players can bring them success here in this lobby.
Gordon Hayward is a legit investor. He actually plays the games. He knows what he is doing. So Gordon Hayward, good dude over for the Celtics, and a true gamer. So good for you, Tribe, able to hop on in. I wanted to touch on their roster a little bit. They'd been around for quite some time. Outsider and Memo, one of the new additions to that roster as well. And then Kinga, former Omen Elite member, moving on to the next chapter of his career and then signed with Tribe. So they find themselves in striking distance here of everybody in the finals.
Yeah, at this point, pretty much everybody's within striking distance. There's only one game in the books, but if Tempo Storm has another game like they did in game number 1, that's where things could start to slide away from them. That's where some concerted effort to shut them down early may need to be taken by some of these teams, because letting Tempo just do their own thing may not be in their best interest. As we're jumping on board once again with the Happy Campers, you're seeing a lot of players just trying to, so they go for position, but they go, they scout, they assess, and then they advance. They scout, they assess, and then they advance. And I think that's a really, really smart way to do this. We're seeing, obviously, they're driving in, they're moving, but when you just drive without a game plan, we're seeing what's happening right now as Wildcard able to take shots because they're here a little bit ahead of time. They have this position. Now Bondu, who we saw, unfortunately, bleed out behind a tree in game number 1, taking a lot of shots here in game number 2.
Yeah, we talked about the lesser-known teams that popped off. Unfortunately for Strangers, they got picked on by Wildcard last time. They're getting picked on by Wildcard yet again. So this time trying to avoid the same fate here. And I would implore them to go the opposite direction. They will run into Simplicity if they continue heading on north. So they could probably take Junkyard, but Junkyard was probably already looted up. So again, Strangers just getting caught out in awkward rotations and being forced to pay.
Yeah, this is where being proactive makes a whole world of difference. Just getting there ahead of your opponents. Oh, jumping back up over tempo. Once again, just holding this high ground. This has sort of become their trademark right now. They potentially have eyes and they basically just all, again, putting their backs against each other like an angry porcupine with guns. Just looking in every direction, making no easy approach. That's a visual for you.
Angry porcupine with guns. All right, Paul. We'll log that one away for later use.
You're welcome, Twitch chat.
I'm trying to get that image out of my mind. We're back on with Wildcard because
the way they position themselves.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, all right. Here we go.
Wait for the
talk about Wildcard. Talk about the circle, T-Con.
Yeah, so Bondu got separated from the rest of his Strangers team. So Wildcard and Bondu now holding the same facility here. However, Simplicity sitting on top of a ridge that can just kind of peek on down and take some pot shots. Bondu's trying to run to the rest of his team. Could possibly run into Simplicity on the high ground.
That could be difficult. And, oh, man, the teams that did off the shift just a little bit harder earlier on go and continue to go towards this northeastern position are going to be benefited now. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see anybody. Obviously, there's that canyon path toward Tierra Blanca going towards Militaire. And, that's not an ideal situation to get caught out, but I'm also kind of surprised that nobody went and tried to take any of that high ground positioning early. Now we're seeing everybody rotate. I guess they didn't want to get caught back in the hard shift south. But at that point, it's a risk reward. I don't know. I feel like if any one team had really done that, I guess we're seeing a couple of them now, they would be in a huge position right now.
Yeah, definitely. If Tempo find themselves another good performance, we can't say that it's just because the circle helped them out. They definitely have a hike to go through. But in that northwestern region, I guess western region right now, Omen Elite holding off Code. Now Omen Elite deciding to move on in. THC taking some pot shots to get rid of some tires. Actually, no. Let's just get rid of
not a tire. Yeah. I guess the tire's included in that package.
Oh my goodness. And there it is, yeah. End game. Not afraid to fire back at THC. So you take our vehicle, we'll take you out.
I like it. It seems like we have a little care package coming on in here towards endgame. Pretty darn close to them. The way the observer makes this look, I swear he's being more accurate. Trust me, guys.
Iron Sight now scoping around. We had a little bit of jostling for position by these players early on. Again, I thought there was going to be a little bit more of a fight on the western side between Code, Omen Elite, and then actually behind them Polarace, because it's a big cluster of teams there. Instead, we have a little bit more of kind of fighting for the center. G25, Simplicity, and Strangers were able to finally all meet up north of Junkyard. With Wildcard still just holding the southern ridge of Minas Generales, just to hold off for a little bit. And then Tribe over in the east side might run into JCR. But again, everyone relatively spread out. Tempo just going to hold Hacienda and wait it out until the next circle. So maybe just one more circle of ceasefire before everything lights up very quickly.
Yeah, there's always the scuffle that happens when every single team is just like that. You call it like the jostle when the circle finally just rotates. Everyone's like, I got to go to the next spot. And then they all get to the next spot. They all settle in. Okay, here we go again. And there's just like these waves, the up and down that one of the things I actually love with Battle Royales and PUBG Mobile in particular is just watching how these teams play around that. And that's, again, what I love when teams are able to be a little bit proactive. They're not waiting for the circle to force their hands. They're not waiting for other teams to force their hands. They're getting ahead of the action. And we're seeing a lot of our top teams doing that here. But still, all of the teams that loaded in the lobby are still alive. Some have taken a few casualties. I believe it was G25 that lost 2 of their players early. But otherwise, everybody is still up and in this. Every single team pretty much still at full strength. So this is very much anybody's game at this point. If anybody can get the jump on another one of these squads, get them caught out, which, again, in this big map is hard to do. But if it is possible to make happen, it could start to get interesting really quickly.
Yeah, just a lot of spaced out fighting right now. So yeah, it could get interesting, but for now it's a little bit more tempered. You know, everyone has that first game jitters, and then since Tempo got all the points, I feel like we're having another replay of the first game jitters, just slower. And again, for us here at the Mobile Open, this is the first time we're playing with 16 players, so a lot more space for teams to work with rather than straight up aggression.
Now, speaking of aggression, Accelerate's moving on in towards, I think it was Tribe. They're just over the next rise, but getting themselves in a nice little deflate here. They can keep their vehicles safe, get themselves in a good spot. There's Kinga, a little bit out from his team, though, but I think he heard the vehicles. Yep, they are going to be aware of this. So he's telling his team, you can see the communication right now. They're making a game plan. And he's staring down 4 members, though, and this is going to be interesting. He needs to make a call whether to advance or not at this point, or rather not say to advance, but how he wants to retreat.
And again, this is in the southeastern ridge of the circle. Anyone that wins this fight will have basically complete control over Al-Hazar, as you talked about, Tierra Branca and Campo Militar, which is outside, but like that whole eastern ridge will be theirs. So if Accelerate and Tribe do clash, that's what's up for grabs here.
Being able to play gatekeeper, the idea that you can just hold the line yourself, that you can pick up all those kills. Because again, kills are worth a lot more in this current scoring format. And it looks like kills are exactly what Tribe want to pick up here. Oh, nade a little bit high. Held for a little bit too long. But now Accelerate, no. They have no question. Unequivocally, they are staring down a little bit of competition. This is going to be an interesting gun battle right here, because Tribe, obviously, again, coming into this is one of the favorites, but Accelerate, this would be huge for them in terms of confidence, in terms of morale, if they can take out Tribe right here, right now.
Yeah, we've seen Maniac and Jag before, and these guys haven't really been on top teams yet, but constantly making it into the lobby here for Mobile Open. Will they decide to opt into this fight? They don't know it's Tempo. No, there's no way for them to know that, but they do know that the circle has shifted in. It's more important to make the rotation. Now following along with Omen Elite, they think the same thing. So they're going to move away from their position where they were holding Code, Tempo, and Polar Ace together. But now big fight, you can see the circles popping off right there. G25 and Simplicity going back and forth right next to Tempo, right next to Strangers. And all the other teams are like, yeah, you guys can fight. We'll see you later in the circle.
See you later, Fred. This has been the same consistent shift, northeast, 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 every single time. Oh my goodness. And now G25 only has 1 remaining member through all of this, but we're seeing Omen right now. You look at the mini-map to your top right, they are getting definitely into the thick of things right now as we see Ace and the rest of the crew up there. I think it's Code out on the far outskirts of the circle. Tempo Storm as well. In the midst of everything, Tempo a little bit further behind them, moving in towards El-Azhar. But G25, the last remaining member, it is Chacha, staring down at Tempo, trying to just be as much of a nuisance as he can.
Yeah, that's not the team you want to anger, though. Unlucky for him, he doesn't know. But he's going to be in a bit of trouble in just a little bit. He's peeking through, picking up some loot, but will be in a bit of trouble. PK Raven able to pick up a kill there, vehicle explosion into a kill, but Spec, yeah, he's got Cha-Cha's number.
Oh. So this is so interesting. This is 2 games in a row that Tempo Storm has been running a 3-1. And this is so interesting to me. Spectre has been off on his own, both in the end of that last game and in this game as well. They're not running a 2-2. They're running 3-1. And Spectre is on the flank right now, but he's got his vehicle, so he's not going to have any issues per se. But it's just interesting. Do you think he's acting as more of a scout? How do you think this interaction is going on?
Yeah, I think, you know, when you are one of the best teams, you're trying to get information is your capital, right? And if you split up, you're able to get more information. And Tempo's more than happy to trust Spec to be off on his own, get the information, rejoin on the motorcycle. And that's one thing you can do on Miramar, just because there's so many ridges and different little angles to play, different pieces of cover. And then you're trusting that your opponents are going to be able to shoot these shots across the map. As you see Jagger struggling with those ones there. That's kind of what you expect. Juicy trying to take these long range shots, but not really expected to get hit back.
Yeah, Juicy, free reign at this point, of course, is at the silencer on there as well. So fear of retaliation is very limited. But I like this position that Omen has right now. There's not really a lot of high. They have the high ground. They have the high ground, Anakin. And they're taking advantage of it right now. There's not really, unless they come directly over this ridge that Juicy's facing right now, not a whole lot of ways for anybody to sneak up on them. And the rest of the crew is over here. They've got rocks to deal with. And they've got a lot of cover to work around as well. This is solid positioning from them.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? A lot of the time we're so used to people being safe when they're in buildings, but on Miramar you can find just the right couple of ridges. And to be honest, we saw Tempo do that last game on Erangel. They found the nice little spot to be covered, and they were able to wipe everyone off because they had high ground, they had cover. If they didn't want to take a fight, they could just walk down the other side of the mountain and they were safe.
And that ability, that safety that good positioning allows you is really nice, but we're finally starting to get to the point now where teams are being forced into closer quarters. It takes a while here. The circles are ticking on in now, and we are seeing accelerate. Asasuki is taking some shots and connecting on some shots here as well, but he's got teammates close, but enemies closer in some of these situations as well, so they've got to be cautious. Wildcard, though, really on the outskirts. Oh my, that was a shot.
Yeah, there's Spring just popping it with the arm, getting knocked. Where's he getting shot from? He doesn't even know. Azor's like, where are these shots coming from? Does a little jump again. It's Accelerate, who's shooting at Wildcard, who's further away than them than Tribe. Tribe's like right in front of their face, but they're shooting past him. You see Tribe kind of chunked here. Kinga relatively low. C got low as well, but they will survive for a little bit longer.
And it looked like there's actually a bit of push happening there for Accelerate. Tribe's got to be cautious. I'm not necessarily... It's sort of a rock, paper, scissors action right now. Tribe is downing it's fighting towards Iron Sight and the crew over at Endgame, but they're also fighting up against Accelerate. And it's like, I'm fighting you and you're fighting the other person. The third party game is very real right now. Nico needs to make a decision. Got to get back in the vehicle. The rest of the team is trying to give him cover as everybody is scrambling right now. It's Mad Max out there, D-Gon.
Yeah, it is, and Juicy is able to provide that cover. He's able to explode one of the vehicles, and so they do stay safe. Nico, who was cut off by his own, immediately calls it out, and the guy that missed that last game gets saved by the other three members. Seeing how Omen Elite works together right there.
And I have to give so many props to Execute, because I am constantly seeing them in the kill feed, downing all these key members. But we're seeing a battle right now between THC and Ace. Oh my goodness, the Happy Campers not getting the winning end of that one. Oh, nice. Rio and crew getting that one done. Do not challenge through the high ground, but Omen is now getting in the thick of things as well. But like I mentioned before, getting a kill, I believe, onto Tempo Storm was Execute as well as a down. I think it was onto Iron Sight from Endgame. That's a solid bit of positioning. They're taking shots at everybody.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk that 1v1 there. Rio winning that, and Kino not too keen on his 1v1 skill set here. Is now Rio going to take some more shots and long distance there right onto Spray. We saw Spray with the great snipe in game 1. This time he gets sprayed out in game 2, and Rio feeling it after winning a 1v1. Kind of potato, but able to win it. Another one here. It's Elite, and now Exclusive taking it on each other, but Angry getting shot from behind, getting taken out.
Oh my goodness. Omen Elite trying to push up over the ridge, but the third party is very real. I believe that was the crew over at Endgame that ended up getting that knock right there. Nico himself, he's got to get himself healed up first. Buddy system here, friend, because he can hear the shots coming in from over the ridge. This is close quarters combat right now. Zute is trying to get himself over there, but Nico needs to watch up the hill as well. He is between a rock and a hard place, D-Gon.
Yeah, getting the smoke down, but Elise is going to peek down, finish him off, and Exclusive taking down Omen Elite. Omen Elite going out in 14th place.
What a showing from Execute Esports and crew. Oh my goodness. Execute. That's the one. That's what they're doing, D-Gon. What a play. Like I mentioned before, they were fighting every single top team simultaneously, and they're killing them. to boot. This is the lobby of doom right now. We have a lot of the best teams that NA has to offer, and Execute Esports is showing up. His name is Fame Boys and Crew. Look, he's gonna be famous after this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, with more performances like that, absolutely. A guy that needs no introduction, Spring taking the shots. Is that drop shot true?
Ooh.
Yes, it is. Spring
Ooh.
using the arm to perfection, and Maniac
Oh,
gets
he's trying to
shot
no-scope
right in the
it.
face. When he get finished off, probably will get finished off there in just a second. Outsider trying to skirt himself on in. Yes, he'll be able to join the rest of his team, and they are gatekeeping Accelerate, who's behind them.
Yeah, but Outsider needs to be careful here. Has to get some of this tree cover. Asazuki is right there up the ridge. Outsider, I'd keep watching there, friend. If he goes too far over the ridge, he's got Endgame in front of him, and he's got the other team behind him. Not an ideal situation. We are seeing more kills coming through on the kill feed as everybody is starting to come together. That is Asazuki just burning out to the play zone right there, opting to not give over the points to his opponents. Not the worst decision of all time. That is G25 also getting eliminated as finally teams are starting to drop. It was a slow start, D-Gon, but the action's heating up.
Yeah, definitely is. Something to note here, in El-Azhar, in the south, there's a little city, and Tempo, Strangers, Pittsburgh Knights, and Simplicity all stuck in it. If you move first, those teams will shoot you out.
We saw a nade kill in the kill feed from exactly the teams you were just talking about, D-Gon. It looks like the action is coming to them. Oh my goodness. That's 2 down now for Wildcard as well. And Azor is able to try and get a little bit back there onto JCR, just causing reality, just causing a world of hurt for Wildcard in this instance.
Yeah, JCR just gatekeeping right now. Haven't got the first kill yet. Wildcard still 4 members up, so that's an important distinction here for him as we take a look. And yeah, Polar Ace getting knocked out, so Polar Ace going out in their position right now. I believe that was 10th. They got in 11th place.
Seeing J7 trying to get a bit of a sassy nade in towards Russell, but they're trying to push this through. And third person, of course, taking these corners can be a little bit more interesting. Defender's advantage is very real, but here we go. Pittsburgh Knights trying to move on in close quarters combat. The CQB, can they get the shots? Can they line them up here? Let's go. Oh, hello, that is not your teammate, friend. J7 trying to get himself out of a close situation, not quite landing those shots. Oh, but the flank for Russell. He flanks the flanker. It is J7. It is the rest of the crew that is there for Pittsburgh Knights. Oh my goodness. Jagger.
Sam's got to go. Sam and Jagger got to go. They win the fight there against Simplicity. They're trying to get up the hill. I don't think they're going to make it in time. And then just getting shot from behind. Oh, Sam is so close. Yes, he does make it. He's able to get himself in, but then he gets shot from distance. Spring. Oh, you heartless man.
You let him think he was going to live. You let him think he was going to live. Oh, my goodness. What a series of plays. And now we're seeing Execute Esports facing up against Wildcard. Wildcard, who did survive their skirmish with that other squad. But now going into the Titan killers that have been developing here on Execute Esports. D-Gon, we've had so much action. This is what I wanted to see here on Miramar.
Yeah, 7 kills for Execute so far, only matched by Wildcard with 7 kills as well. So these guys going back and forth, and a quietly good game for Endgame. 6 kills so far for them. Tempo already knocked out. They also have 6 kills. So now split between 6 teams, a pretty tight circle. The only team that has solid position in it right now is Endgame. Diablo's also hanging on the outside as Elise gets flanked, and it's Bandu, the stranger, able to come out of the I don't know, the shadow, the blue zone, able to pick one off and now cause a lot of issues here for Execute to continue to do so. And Bandu's going to get back in his vehicle and drive away. Slicky now faces down Drive, also getting third party. Jag getting into trouble. Slicky just going to try to spray through the smoke, not going to be able to find anything. Outsider hiding in another box of smoke. And Slicky just has to pick his battles here. He's getting popped. Jag able to see through him, and Slicky gets chunked, has to fall back to his team.
But Jag does get picked up there. The teammate does step up to help when he needs it the most, but we are seeing Execute try to push on through with the cover of smoke, the vehicles as well. But this is Spring. Slicky did end up getting down there. This Tribe is starting to take. I actually think getting knocked out there. Bandu, Stranger Danger, did end up dropping as well, trying to take down Execute. It seems like every single team that picks a fight with them gets punished for it, but now Wildcard being one of these. Oh, Tribe is still alive, actually. Outsider, the last remaining member here. But it really comes down. It really does come down to these squads of Execute, of Wildcard, and of course of Endgame.
Yep, so Ever Fury able to pick up
kill there onto Outsider. And so there goes Outsider. And now it's just Endgame, Execute, and Wildcard. So Wildcard, this is the rush I've been saying, has the opportunity to make a big step up here. Endgame, lots of experience, and then Execute. This is what I was asking earlier. Great that the team that we know the least about has a good performance, but it's about consistency here. With 8 kills, I think they've answered it on Miramar regardless of where they place, but they want to get all the chicken dinner points.
Oh, yes, they do. They want to walk away with the W here on this one. Fame, boys, is 2 in front of them. Can't win that battle, though. The 2v1 in that instance, they turned, got the shots down range. Really solid here, but Wildcard is taking a lot of damage. 1 member down for them as well. With 9 members alive, it seems to be 4, 2, and 3. Execute stuck in a pretty rough spot here, but it looks like a pretty nice job from Wildcard to keep all those members alive. But it's Diablo on the flank, Degon.
Yeah, Diablo on the flank, able to get 1 pick onto Fate. And there it is, Goonlips gets taken out by Azor. All the points heading on over. Actually, no, points split there. Because Azor didn't take the one that was down first, so Endgame able to get 1 now. Just a straight up 4v3 between these 2 rosters for supremacy here. Tempo Storm again, 6 kills. So a win here might be everything that a team needs. Nate's going relatively close here. You know what they say. Close,
horseshoes
only good in horseshoes and hand grenades, and this happens to be one of those cases.
There's literally only 2 times where it's okay, and this is one of them. Amazing. I also want to note the accidental perfect pinch, the collapse from Endgame, as well as Wildcard there onto Execute. They didn't plan that at all, but they both pushed the ridge at the same time. There was literally nothing that Execute could have done about that. Really nice play from these 2 teams to take advantage of the chaos. We're seeing Spring now looking towards Everfury. The shots from Spring have been so consistently good. And of course, in third-person mode, they can see what's going on, trying to land these shots. A headshot here with these weapons at this range would be very disastrous.
Yeah, right now Circle is in the hands of Endgame, but you can see this wide flank by Spring. Azor going to make the move as well, and Everfury actually getting caught. And Azor across the map, able to find 1. This might be the go time for Wildcard to take the victory. Diablo trying to back himself on off. He falls. Ironside goes down, and it's Wildcard that take the victory here. Well deserved. It's all 13 kills. Quick maths. 13 kills there for Wildcard. So they match Tempo Storm's total in game number 1.
What a beautiful final push coming in from Wildcard. They sent 1 player around to the right. They sent another one around to the left and 2 down the middle. A classic pincer movement. A tale as old as time when it comes to military tactics being utilized beautifully here on the fields of Miramar, the plains, I guess, the desert. The desert was heating up, that's for sure, Degon. What a finish. All 4 members alive. Again, another team making a claim for the lobby, putting that flag in the ground like I mentioned before, kicking Tempo Storm out for now. But this shows me that we have a lot of contenders, and this is only game number 2. I'm so excited for what the rest of these games are going to look like. But you know what? It's only game number 2. And with our Xperia analysis segment, Degon, I need you to walk us through that last game because there was a lot of highlight moments, especially towards the end. Let's take a look.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's not forget, start off with a couple early kills, then a one-on-one here. Rio able to pick that one off, and then decided to go for a second one here. Glad that we captured that one in Spray. You had a couple of cool plays there for Code early on, but got sat down early by Rio. And then Spring with the distance snipe. Yeah, he had the arm, but still, it takes some talent to land those. And King A going big on Azor across the map. Azor did not get finished. Surprise, surprise. Spoiler alert there. But Elise, we saw a lot of this here. Teams waiting so long to move into this circle that we were getting 3rd, 4th, 5th partied. It was very difficult for the teams to dissect where they were getting shot from. And this was the one from earlier. Azor looking right through the edge of the smoke, able to get quite the peak. And then Ironside all by his lonesome, doesn't have too much to do. Again, a solid round here for Endgame, but Wildcard finally living up to the expectations that I think were thrusted upon them when they put this roster together. That is your Sony Xperia replay.
Really solid play. All 3 of those teams in the end not getting there just by camping, not getting there by playing it slow, but playing it safe. Many many kills had between them. That's the kind of action that I want to see. So thank you so much, Degon, for that Xperia analysis update. And speaking of Xperia, speaking of Sony, I have to give a big shout out to Sony, of course, for joining us as the official mobile partner here for the ESL Mobile Open Season 4 with their Xperia 1. As I said, I've got a chance to use this phone. I've got a chance to play with it, whether it be Asphalt or Underlords or PUBG Mobile, and I've really been enjoying using this device. It's got a 21:9 aspect ratio. It's got this like super wide, I believe they call it the cinema wide display, which is fantastic. It's 4K OLED. It's got a top of the line processor, which means it's playing all these games like max settings, 60 FPS with a great battery as well. And that battery is important because you can optimize it, of course, with their game enhancer feature, which means you can also turn off notifications, which means, I don't know, if like me in particular, if I'm doing like a long Underlord session and I just don't want to be notified for things, I can just turn that right off. It's great. I know we also were able to send you a phone, Degon. You got a chance to use it as well.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things that I like about it, especially when I'm loading my PUBG mobiles, is there on the top part of your screen. Right there, boop. You got that little joystick thing, and that's really your game center. That in itself is like how you control all those notifications. So I think it's super cool that when you pop that there,
This is hard to do when you can't see.
There we go. There we go. So you can see all the different things that you can do. Game mode gives you all the extra RAM, you can change all the settings in terms of how much of the phone is focused on the game. The focus settings also super cool. Don't have to leave to lock things out. A lot of times you're playing, you accidentally hit your home button. There's no swiping here. You can lock the swipe screen without leaving the game. Super cool to do. It was very easy for me to do when I'm playing PUBG.
Yeah, we heard it there. I agree. A lot of those small features, just like it seems like it was built with mobile gaming in mind, which I really appreciate. So thank you so much to Sony. Thank you so much to Xperia for joining us as our official mobile partner here for Season 4. But that was only game number 2. The action is not over yet. And if you want to get involved in the action, you absolutely can. This tournament is open to anybody. Anybody in North America can get involved. Get 3 of your friends together. Say, look, I think we can compete. I want to play in a competitive environment, a competitive setting. This is your chance to dip your toes into those competitive waters. This is your opportunity to get involved in the world of competitive PUBG Mobile. Exclamation point, sign up in the chat. We'll get you that link. And of course, if you want to win one of these phones that you just saw me and Degon rave about, you can absolutely do so because Sony is giving one of these away. Just sign up for our email newsletter, stay up to date with the Mobile Open, and you can enter not only a chance to win one of these, but also 4 amazing Bluetooth speakers provided by AT&T. Our sponsors going hard in the paint for you, for the fans, for the players who want to get involved in the world of mobile esports. We're going to jump onto a short break. When we come back, game number 3. See you in a bit.
This is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
You leave it to me. I'll get your taxes in an okay place.
What?
Well, just as soon as my audit is over. This gets my undivided attention.
Take a lot of trips to the islands, Phil.
Pretty great, right? Oh, Phil's legally dead. Fell off a boat. Going by Dennis now. Solari. Long story. Then we got, no, you're not gonna want to see this.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Just okay is not okay. AT&T has America's best network, now with our best plans at our best prices, starting at $35 a line for 4 lines, new from AT&T.
I am Paul and Verum Toddkill. I'm the host of the ESL Mobile Open, and we are very excited to announce our partnership with Sony Mobile and the Xperia 1. As an avid mobile gamer, anytime I get a chance to get my hands on a cool piece of technology, I jump at the chance, and this phone has been a lot of fun to play with. Having this 4K OLED discrete 21:9 aspect ratio, this is different than anything I've used in the world of mobile gaming before, because what's awesome is having this wider display means I get my thumbs out of the way when I'm playing games like PUBG Mobile. Just having that additional screen real estate is awesome, and having this super crisp and clear display means games like Asphalt 9 Legends look even better. And of course, when I want to have these, maybe a little longer gaming sessions, having the game enhancer built in to optimize my battery, turn off all those pesky notifications helps so much when I just want to focus on the game. It also helps that it has an amazing battery and a top-of-the-line processor. It's awesome to see Sony taking strides, pushing the boundaries when it comes to this technology in a phone, especially when it comes to the world of mobile gaming, and we are so excited to see what the future holds.
This is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
Hello and welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open Season 4 Finals. I'm Inverum, that's Degon. We just got to witness another convincing victory in one of these games. We had Tempo Storm game number 1. We had Wildcard coming in game number 2. Is this what you expected to see teams win these games so dominantly?
Yes, I think, again, when teams are out in front, it's easy to snowball. And again, with the emphasis on kills this season, it's the teams that are aggressive that are really going to be the ones that continue to use that momentum forward. It's not going to be like a sneaky snake team that got in and win with like 3 kills, but get first place and find themselves on the top of the leaderboard. That's just not going to always be the case here. So Tempo Storm, they got themselves 6 kills, but they were stuck just a little bit south of El Azahar, I believe. And that really led them to not placing as high as they normally would have. Whereas I think Wildcard kind of played what Tempo did on Erangel in game number 1, where it was they moved early, they moved again. Every time the circle was moving, they moved as well. They got a little bit of circle luck, but then found themselves inside while all the other teams were trying to work their way on in and capitalize upon that.
Yeah, being able to just play from the inside out, just spot around everybody who's trying to move in and encroach on your territory really made it a lot easier there. But actually, let's take a look at the scoreboard, because you mentioned the idea of clawing your way up and getting these kills and benefiting the teams that are playing aggressive. We've done that. Wildcard Gaming is now in second, only 3 points behind Tempo Storm. Those 6 kills they got in that last game, the fact they were able to get those kills made a huge difference there in terms of overall placement. But Execute Esports, 38 points. We have these 3 up at the front, these front runners, and there is a 10-11 point spread between them and the next team. We have a lot of teams down there towards the bottom of this bracket. This is a very sort of front heavy set of the peloton is very forward skewed.
Yeah, it is definitely the front of the pack, and then Endgame is kind of by themselves in the middle, and then everybody else. I talked about it earlier. Iron Sight has done a solid job salvaging points. Did it in game number 1. There in game 2, they had the opportunity. They dropped a player, I think, in the middle of the game, but then moved pretty strongly with 3 members and did a fantastic job getting themselves second place. And so maybe I was wrong. I think I predicted earlier that you would have to win a game to be in first place. But if Endgame constantly finds himself second through 4th, maybe even 5th, gets a couple kills, and then Tempo, not likely, but Tempo and Wildcard don't have good days, that might be the thing. I'm looking at Omen Elite to make a jump up, though. Like, Omen, too many expectations, too good of a team. They need to have themselves around.
No, I agree for sure. I feel like there's still a couple. Simplicity's also done quite well. They put themselves in decent positions to try and take some of these fights. And Pittsburgh Knights, another one of these teams I need to see step up. Another name that we know, a household name when it comes to PUBG Mobile. There's about those 4 squads, I think, kind of in the middle. One good game could bring them right back into the running. And again, it's still early days. We still have 3 more games to go. We're getting the players set up for game number 3 now. We're going on to a new map, a new environment. So that will hopefully, be the kick in the behind that some of these teams need to step up. And Omen, we'll see what they can do. His game is actually set and ready to go. So we're loading on in here. Oh, welcome back, Degon.
Woo! It's everybody's favorite map. It's Sandhawk. Let's practice a little social distancing by getting away from where everybody lives, and let's head to Paradise Resort, or wherever everyone's dropping right now. Azor and the rest of Wildcard. I'm not 100% sure.
Dude, I have memories. I have memories of those Paradise finishes at season 1. That's why I'm remembering just the crazy plays that the old Misfits roster was able to make there. So it's fitting, I think, that we're jumping back aboard with Azor, who's had so many great performances here on Senox. So Wildcard, they're very much in contention of things right now. But again, a lot more work still needs to be done. Consistency is the name of the game. As we do see shots already ringing out, or hear shots ringing out in the background, and a very even split. That's the benefit of having such a small map, is you can pretty much go wherever you want.
Yeah, the plane path really doesn't matter. Yes, you drop a little bit later if you do want to go all the way across, kind of like the way that the Happy Campers are doing right now. They're heading pretty far to the northeast. Waiting for this circle to pop, though. I think that's the That's the big thing here. Where's this circle pop? And it leads to the next rotation path. Painan open. Again, Tempo just getting so much respect. They get all the respects. No one really wants to battle them. There it is. Hard shift to the northwest island. And when you have a circle like that, it's pretty tough, because right now, as much as it's 100% of that island and less than 50% of the eastern island and about 50% of the southern island, it still can hard shift to any one of the islands right now. You'd expect it to end on the main island, and if that's the case, you're really just trying to head on over to the cliffs and hold the cliffs. But we've seen it in a couple of other games. Teams don't want to hard commit early. We see like maybe one team hard commit early, and that's like Polar Ace. Polar Ace isn't afraid of hanging out in the blue zone, coming in on late. But other than that, teams like to play in this like median area. They get as close to the middle as they can, unless they have like great control of a main objective, and they'll hold that. But otherwise, they like to play in the middle. Once they get close enough, they're like, all right, we're fine. We'll wait for the next circle to rotate.
I think the big thing here to note as well, of course, heading towards, Camp Alpha, Hudson, all this kind of stuff, there's a lot of water to deal with. Trying to get across sort of these waterways. Bridge control is going to be interesting. Vehicles to help make that. The swim, when you want to decide or not decide to do that. I think that's why we're not going to see teams commit on that hard shift, like you mentioned before, because getting caught out of the water is the kiss of death at this point. These players are just too good with their shots. The second you come up for air, you are going to be Dunskies. So that is not the situation you want to find yourself caught in with your pants down, or I guess your swimming trunks down in that situation, because trying to commit to that when you're not prepared, not ideal at all. So we'll see how teams play that as these circles do progress. Seems like Nico scouting out for the rest of his team here. The rest of them are coming up behind, being these sneaky little snakes, and doesn't look like there's anybody going to be here in the immediate vicinity. However, up the cliffs, I did spot a team.
Yeah, I think is it Code?
Code?
No.
Code, yeah. Oh, it was Code. It was
Code. But I think PK's next to Code, so we might have 3 teams right next to each other. Oh, J7 doesn't realize how much trouble he might be in.
Yeah, he absolutely does not. He is wide open, exposed right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prime's right there.
Okay, Shaka has eyes on this. Here we go. Beautiful shots going on in.
Yeah, that was just, again, Sandhawk, everyone's close by. And just carelessness from Pittsburgh Knights. And now Shaka has shots on J7. And J7 trying to run himself using the tree for cover. Zig and Zag.
Oh, my goodness.
Prone. He's safe for now. Yeah, he got himself to a little bit of a ridge on the cliff, but he's surrounded by Code players and now taking bullets from distance. And so now Shaka has to figure out where that's coming from.
That was actually J7, but this is great because if J7 can keep their eyes on him, the rest of his team, Jagger and the crew, can actually move on him for a bit of a pinch right here. It is a 3v4 situation, but Jagger and the crew, Code put themselves out on a rock, on a limb in this case, to try and get that kill, and now they maybe potentially found themselves caught out from the flank as well. Oh, and we do see the knock there from the nade, and this is Jagger's field day right now. Look at the shots raining on in. Not quite able to pick up that kill. Couldn't quite connect. And these rocks are deceptive, but now J7 is back up to full fighting strength. This is going to be a 2v2 pinch right now, and here comes J7.
Yeah, J7. Man, it looked really bad. Sam able to get the flank on the Shaka, but there's Spray. Spray trying to do just that. J7 and exposed from behind. So a bit of a pincer move here, but J7 able to walk away from the 1v1 and now apply his own pincer move with Jagger from behind. J7 trying to finish him off. It's free, able to hip fire, pick up the kill. There's the Uzi. Not so good on Miramar, much better to use in the close quarters of Sandhawk. Great stuff there.
Ooh, and this is another kill we picked up. Oh, man. Not a whole lot of place to go there. Got to try and slide down a cliff to get out of this one. And it looks like Spray has been able to do just that. He's trying to get his team. Oh, my goodness. I cannot believe he's got. They slip and slide all the way down that cliff. Degon, what a wild ride to start this one off. Get me off. I don't want to be on this ride anymore. This is not where I want to be. Oh, my goodness.
It's so early on. You don't know how many heals that they have. It does look like Prime has a first aid. So very lucky for them to at least get to 75% HP. Spray does have a couple stims going, but that's about it. Doesn't look like anything else was passed off to him. And so they're stuck, and interested to see how Pittsburgh Knights want to move forward. Remember, they have lost one early on to Code. Do they want to continue to press this here with J7 holding this ridge?
So the question now becomes, if J7 is up here, do the rest of the team flank around underneath? Do they try and pressure? I mean, really, they know at some point Code have got to leave, but they also don't want to have, like, you want to go do other things. You want to continue to loot because it's still early days if you're on Pittsburgh Knights. You don't want to sit here waiting on this cliff forever. So I think at this point, just trying to go for a nice flank, go around the outside, have somebody up top as well, pick up those kills. That's a good way to do it. But speaking of action on the cliffs, we're seeing more of it here. Seems like JCR. Oh, my goodness. Outsider.
No. It's shooting fish in the river. Outsider just able to take those shots there. And look at this. Pittsburgh Knights might need to leave that group because that was Simplicity that they were taking on. Sam able to knock Russell. Yeah, it's a completely another team.
Oh, my goodness. It looks like they heard the shots. The third party turned into a party for the team that was doing it all the whole time. It was Pittsburgh Knights, but now Outsider, he's just making a beeline for this. Right, where's the rest of his team? Does it even matter? All these questions answered tonight at 11. But no, Outsider is going to answer it right here, right now. He's got the high ground. This is a great position to be in if he can land his shots, but he's literally alone. Okay.
Yeah, look at this angle.
Thank you, observers. Oh, my goodness.
Just
yes.
keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Don't worry about the guy shooting us from behind.
There we go. His right is here.
Oh, no.
Doc just fell to his...
Simplicity. Things are going from bad to worse.
Oh, my goodness. Wait, did they just ditch him? Never mind. So much for the fight. Let's see what's happening with Simplicity and Pittsburgh Knights as well. I want to continue to see what's happening with this fight. Oh, my goodness. What is going on? Irish is here. Looks like Russell got picked back up again, but this is still only 3 members of Pittsburgh Knights, and it somehow seems like the other squad made it out alive?
Yeah, I think once they saw another team's name in the kill feed when they were able to pick up the first knock, Sam was able to pick up the first knock. They didn't have the same numbers advantage. They didn't have the 3v2. Also, they know it was definitely 2 still up because the original member did not bleed out. No one bled out. So it's like, oh, you got the revive up. So we probably should be aware of the numbers, and we know Simplicity's nearby. Let's just back on off.
It's definitely the smart call in the situation because taking risky fights is one thing. Taking smart fights is another thing. The second you start getting into these third-party situations, you really just want to chill. As we see Doc and crew just going down towards these huts, this little village here, as the shadow is moving. The shadow is looming, and it's Pittsburgh Knights up the cliff.
Yeah, and this is the area that I was talking about earlier. You want to make a quick rotation. If you think that the circle is heading to the northwest island, this is the place that you want to be at, on top of the cliffs and play with the height advantage. It's so difficult to shoot up there, and you get to dictate whether you pick the fight or not. You just back off the cliff and you're good. If anyone tries to come at you on your cliff, they're running uphill. They have to aim upwards. It's just really awkward.
Yeah, it's not an ideal situation at all, which is why we, like you said, see teams getting into that position early. We are also seeing Execute find themselves a crate, which is always nice. Going to have that MK14, that 8X, all the good stuff. Everything you want to find if you're Elise.
Yep, Elise good. MK14, it's good. I think okay. Prefer that more on the PC than on mobile. On mobile, you like to use the automatics, the recoil a little bit less there. So maybe you take that 8X just in case you do get a an in a different bag, or you pick it off somebody else, or you find a M24. Those are always good.
Yeah, the sniping in this game, very, very impactful, and we are seeing a bit of a shift. So the players on these cliffs are still going to be in a really good spot. We do still see Pittsburgh Knights, but they're kind of going to be surrounded here. Wildcard went for that full northwest shift, as we do see looks like Tempo and Tribe, they are really in close quarters right now, but they have both gotten over the river, which means that if it goes back south, if it still stays north towards Camp Alpha, they're going to be okay towards the circle here. Tribe is actually doing the swim right now, it looks like, as Accelerate, JCR, the rest of the crew, Endgame actually way south right now. It looks like they're going to take the long way around. Interesting.
Yeah, And hilariously, you see this on the camera right now. Rain just walks right on in and takes Code's vehicle and says, "Thank you very much. I'll take control of that." And he's now he's not safe, right? He does have a couple of enemies right in front of him. We don't see where his teammates are yet. And now Prime and Spray looking to make the move. Remember, these are the two guys that got themselves in trouble earlier. There are only two now taking shots, and Rain and taking a bit of damage, not as much as he probably should have for the information that Spray gave away. And now Tempo's sights are going to turn on to the final two members.
Yeah, two members there of that team, but Tribe has entered the building. They are going to get involved in this as well, T-Gon. So they got to be cautious. Spectre's taking a lot of punishment, and Seagot with this third person just trying to scout around, just trying to see what's going on here, because Tempo Storm could potentially collapse. They've got knowledge of this too. So taking fights on two fronts right now is Tempo Storm. If Tempo goes out early here, if they take more unnecessary losses because Tensa's already dead, this could be the opening that the other teams need to get back in this. Spectre, the headshot from Kinga, takes him down. Yes, please. If you are a fan of Tribe, that's the shot they need to make happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of anybody else that you want to win that isn't Tempo, that's what you want. Take down Spec, who, as you've touched on, has constantly been on his own. Rain now also on his own, but Spec has always been on his own. This time he does get punished. And as you called it earlier, Kinga wasn't the only one taking shots. Tribe was making a big rotation around. You can see Outsider now at the rock that Spec was at. Spec has crawled himself a little bit further away. Somewhere else, Angry getting chunked here. I believe Team 17 is Simplicity. They're trying to throw the nades out. Juicy's able to pick up two. And so the revive still might be on. Zute trying to take shots, gives a little bit of cover. Angry will get revived at the last second. And Omen Elite stay four members for a little bit longer. Russell out in the distance, trying to hold off Zute. The smoke does go down. Revive will be good.
What a piece of team play there from Omen. One player goes in instantly with the pickup. Other player is ready with the revive, but here we go. Juicy is going up. Oh my goodness. What a series of shots there. The Happy Campers are going down, and Simplicity is going down. That kill feed cannot refresh fast enough, D-Gon. What a series of shots there from Omen. As well, the Happy Campers, everything just going completely wild.
Yeah, what a little play there. I love the fact that they were able to make that happen. And so Omen just taking care of business. And even though they did get put in a tough position, they're able to find their way and make sure they stay 4 up and get kills. This is what they needed. So big stuff there. And how about that for a round to do it in, the one where Tempo's getting chunked right now?
Tempo taking fights with too many different teams all at once. I talked about the idea they go back to back. They're this porcupine with guns. But in this case, porcupine poked too many people and didn't work out quite so well for them here. Trying to just do too much with not enough resources, which means that Rain, the last man standing, is just going to try and survive through this as long as possible. We're taking a look at the circle right now. We need to see where it shifts next. This is the big question mark circle. I lied. The next one is the big question mark circle. This doesn't answer anything, D-Gon.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't answer anything. All 3 islands still in play, which is pretty hilarious. But it does kind of like shove, I think, most people off the southern island out. So Endgame, who's been betting on the fact that would be down there, that's a bad bet. So they're going to have to start moving. JCR also forced to move around as well. But I think Pittsburgh Knights love this. They're still good. And if they have to go, they descend downwards, which isn't the greatest, but there's different ways to get off the cliffs that you're not just exposed as you run down the hill. So PK loves it. I think a team that hates it right now is Tempo. Tempo just sending it. Rain in a vehicle. You could see it on the minimap there making a move. And he's just going to have to get out of Dodge and hope for something good. But he's running right into Omen Elite and a bunch of teams that are crossing over to the Northwest Island.
That's the delta right there at the apex of all 3 of these. We'll call them rivers. They're not really, but that's fine. This is the spot right here. Accelerate. We have Strangers. Got Polar Ace. This is a party right now happening, T-Gon. I mean, just stay 6 feet apart, everybody. Take it easy.
Polar Ace likes these kind of battles, though. They constantly do these. This is the line in the sand that you don't cross moves, and then they end up just like psyching themselves out. They stay way too long and then get themselves in trouble. They were able to do a little bit better last game, but they need to make sure they get even more done. Love the Christmas
this
fuel
is
up.
so amusing. Just getting on the back of the bike and it just falls over. Sorry. Right. Yes. Tribe Gaming, super serious mobile esports organization, hanging out, just having a pretty good position, having the high ground, not really wanting to move as they don't need to at this point. Memo and crew are moving in here. Code, who did do all that work in a tempo storm, are actually in this building. It is Memo finding them here. Not quite able to land the shot. Seaguts and a world apart. There we go. There's the shot that he was looking for from Memo, able to go around the outside. Wildcard off in the distance as well. Memo always looking for the next fight. This is what I love to see. And now the full collapse coming in from Tribe Gaming. All 4 members are looking like they're rolling on up. Want to make sure they can give their teammates as much backup as possible. But Code not out of this yet.
Yeah, Code's not out of it. And the longer this takes for Tribe, the more it gives Wildcard an opportunity to work their ways on in. And we saw how they did in Miramar on their way to a chicken dinner. Wildcard more than willing to take these fights. Seagut just rolls right on up and says, see you later. Code, it was good to have you be the first team we fight rather than Tempo. Tribe eliminating Code, able to pick up 2 points and move closer towards position points.
Really solid there, just running on in with the auto shotty. We did see Execute taking a fight with Pittsburgh Knights, and 1 kill, or at least a knock, went over the way of PK earlier on. And Sam, it's such an interesting position right now. He's just being the moss on the rock. He's just taking it easy. He's observing what's going on, and they still have circle. They still have position. And this is what you're talking about, Degon, the safe way of making it down the Goonlips. That's not the safe way, guys. No. Hang on. I jinxed. Oh, okay. That's how you don't go down the cliffs. My goodness.
That was Cast a Curse. Cast a Curse for real. It's a real thing.
For real. This is how you go down the cliff. Player falls to their death. Ah, man.
Yeah, be careful, Sam.
Good times. Please. Just put on some crampoons or something. I don't know what they're called. Little feet things. Yeah.
What? What feet things? What are you talking about?
Oh, the other things you put in the rocks. They put the rope through. I've never rock climbed in my life. I'm going to be honest. I may be out of my depth on this one.
Oh, the carabiners, but the things that you lock the I know what you're talking about now. Help us out, chat, when we get to it.
Crampons?
While you Google it, Endgame is
the things you put on your
JCR. Alexi in a little bit of trouble now as Toast trying to make him toast. Alexi does get his smoke out, but there's a bit of space there, and Alexi runs through and goes through unseen by Toast. Should be able to finish off the kill. I think there's one knocked right there. This is a 3v3 with one knocked here for Endgame. I keep wanting to say Endemic. Endgame here, as Diablo is the one that's knocked right now.
Really nice smoke. Really great movement coming in there. Now it is ZBM. ZBM? Gosh, I need to figure out how I'm saying this. He had the shots and then got shot in return. As we are seeing Endgame trying to keep the teammates alive through this. Toast getting Everfury back in the fight. Diablo is there on the flank, but the longer this fight goes on, the more chance of a third party joining on in. We're seeing Wildcard fighting Tribe up there in the kill feed as well. So lots of action at this stage in the game, but also a lot of open ground here on the side of these kills. There's Memo looking to try and make something happen. Looks like it's a 4v3 right now, but decent damage with the nades on both sides.
Yeah, not a bad nade there by Memo, falling back along this JCR endgame battle. Alexi's sitting way up front there and is pinched between two, but Ironsight's not quite able to get the right angle to find Alexi. And so Alexi has a good idea. He knows where Ironsight is. He's trying to use the rock as cover as he continues to try and push this fight on the opposite side. In the kill feed, Strangers and Polarace going at it. And now Execute, G25 going at it. Wildcard and Tribe going at it. We got a bunch, I think 4 different little fights happening right now.
Oh, and Alexi finally getting caught out. You talked about it. He was getting pinched there as well. Back on board, but Tribe Gaming fighting on Wildcard. Two of these teams vying for the top spot, but there's the shots coming in from behind as well. This is the third party, I believe, going on in. Who is that? The kill feed is moving so quickly. It was Pittsburgh Knights who've been involved in pretty much every fight so far. Tribe Gaming needs to make something happen. Seagut, I think he's just trying to commit to get these kills as much as he can here. He realizes he's in a terrible position. He's got the smoke on the high ground. He's just got to give up those kills to the team across the way, though. I think it's who is that over there as well? What a wild position for Tribe to be in right now. They're just trying to stay alive. It was Wildcard, the team in the green, acting real mean right now, getting all these kills. Or actually, not even. Only finding one. Wait, what? They've been involved in so many fights. How do they only have one kill?
Yeah, they're getting a lot of knocks, not finding a lot of kills here, as now Spring has an idea of where they know where Tribe is, and they weren't quite able to finish off those kills. And so now they're going to head on over and try to third-party JCR and Endgame, which seem to have backed off of each other after Alexi passed away in that skirmish.
That's one way to put it. Yes. Oh my goodness. Outsider and crew, or actually Endgame, I should say, coming in there. Tribe Gaming involved in another fight as well. But my goodness, JCR, I can't believe these two members stayed alive through all of this. And they're having to move for the circle, but having to move through them is Endgame. All four members pushing in right now. CBM, SIP, here they go. Can they get the shots? That was going to be a big moment for them. That's huge. They've given away their position. CBM, decent shots. Oh my goodness. The pinch is real.
SIP is reloading. Oh, and Diablo able to pick that one off. No deaths here for Endgame, but they got to stay inside the blue. So the sprint shoes are in full effect right now, and they're going to run. They could possibly run into a ton of teams, but all the teams are doing the same thing. In front of them, Wildcard has to send it, and now it looks like, Outsiders got to swim it. Kill switch is inside the circle. They're fighting Omen Elite right now, but Pittsburgh Knights also shooting from distance. So G25 has to be very careful they don't leave themselves open to the cliffs. As now Juicy opens the door, gets the smoke out. Zute pretty far up. They got to make sure everyone's together. Angry's already been taken down, so Nico and Juicy trying to hold off the push here from G25.
Here's the thing, Digon. So many fights. Oh my goodness, Koda's going down. Beautiful shots. That is not the place to peak, dear sir. Insta finish there. And now we have Omen in a bit of an interesting position trying to take down G25. I was going to say, there's so many fights breaking out at this point that nobody can make these safe, preemptive, proactive rotations. Everybody is just caught up in their own little battles, their own little wars. And here we go. Omen Elite's pushing on in. Nico and the crew trying to get it done. Can they find the angle? They got the shots. They've come around through the smoke. They are the danger in the night, and they are trying to get these kills. Able to get themselves indoors as best they can. And somehow they made the cross. They made it across that street, and they are looking so good right now.
That was clinical. Like I was about to say, they have to take that fight. There's nowhere for them to run. They had to run straight on in. They're able to do so, and that was clean. Let's get some cleans in the chat. That was so sick by Omen Elite. And so they eliminate G25. Out in the distance, you saw Elise just kind of healing out. And so Elise gets another position point here for Execute Gaming. That's pretty funny. The play zone does take Juicy, and now teams are deciding, we're not in the best spot to continue to move on forward and try to send it. We're just going to heal on up. Rain, remember, Tempo Storm was chunked super early on. 0 kills. It's going to stay like that, but they might find themselves all the way up to 5th place and maybe even higher if some of these teams continue to take some fights.
This game has not quite been, I was going to say not quite as clean here. A lot of these teams are a little more battered and bruised coming into it. But we are seeing Jagger just raining shots into Accelerate. I believe the only team left with all 4 members alive. And now it is Nico taking shots on the flank as well. Is that Rain who actually knocked him here? Out through the smoke? It was. And then he insta died in the back of it. Lol. That's one way to go out angry.
Yeah, Angry able to take one out there. So 7.
Like the emotion angry Digon. He's mad. He's dying in the end, but he's going to get some damage before it. And I guess it's confusing to say when there is a player named Angry in the lobby, to be fair.
Greatest usage of Angry. Well, we already have an Angry. No, Azor from distance, able to pick one off before he goes, and able to pick up a couple placement points there. And so Accelerate getting knocked. Wildcard on the opposite side, slide into 3rd place. So another consistent finish here for Wildcard. And now we have Pittsburgh Knights up against, I think it's Omen Elite. I think it's just Zute, the last one alive.
Didn't Accelerate just have 4 members alive?
All right, never mind. Yeah.
All right, GG, Pittsburgh Knights. Oh my goodness, Zute, why are you surviving, sir? It's just 2 teams left. There are 2 teams left. You're just being annoying, Zute.
He gets the extra bandage in. What a play by the captain, but it doesn't pay off as they do get 2nd place, 8 kills. But Pittsburgh Knights, they got blessed by the circle, and that was the win for them on top of the cliffs.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Knights seeing the way that first circle was lining up, saying, look, we're going to play a little bit aggressive up the front. We're going to take a bit of a risk. And they were involved in fights from minute 1, which is so surprising to me that they only finished, I think, with 5 kills. A little bit odd considering they were involved in a lot of fights, almost all the fights. They were getting into action with everybody, but somehow in the end, while they get the win, they could have maybe got a little bit more.
Yeah, but the reason why you don't charge after you get the first couple kills on Code, look at the difference between those two teams in that first skirmish. Pittsburgh Knights stays on top of the cliffs, has the best position in the game until the second to last circle, and they're able to easily work their way on in through. Whereas Code had to fight off, I think, Tempo, they had to fight off Omen, they had to fight off Tribe, they had to fight off all these teams chunked by themselves. So you don't give up the position on the cliffs to kill somebody and then try to retake it, hoping that no one else moves in when you move out. So I like the play there by Pittsburgh Knights. We've seen a lot of teams kind of fumble their 1v3s or 2v3s and lose a member. And so, yes, you could get more points, but think about it. Yeah, you get one kill there at the very beginning when you haven't even accrued any placement points, or you end up with 5 kills and a first place finish. That one sounds pretty good to me.
To be fair, kids, I'm not advocating for giving up your positioning. I'm just saying I was surprised that they were involved in so many fights and only had 5 kills. They did some damage, but again, they just couldn't quite finish them. Enough third parties were coming in, or they were getting the knocks, but not quite able to execute because, again, like you said, they prioritized positioning, and it paid off for them in a big way. They weren't going to go ham chasing kills. They were going to play it smart. And they did play it smart because they walked away with the chicken dinner. But let's take a look back with our Xperia analysis segment. Degon, talk to us through this game because this one actually had a lot of action.
Yeah, so I think this whole fight here with Code and Pittsburgh Knights was fascinating, right? It started with the Knights getting caught out, and then a pincer move by Code, and then a counter pincer move by Pittsburgh Knights. King A had a couple of great snipes, including the one on Tempo Storm earlier, and then Juicy going big there. C-Gut doing a gut check right here, able to just win the 1v1 against Code, finish him off there, and then we get to see these ones. Distance there onto Enigma, clearing that side out. And then look at this, C-Gut. It's a C-Gut highlight reel for Tribe, doing a fantastic job and finally getting taken down. But, at least did get taken off. I didn't see that one. But the great clear there by Omen Elite. It was a concerted effort. And then Rain from the outside, knowing he was going to pass to the blue, picking one off there on the Nico. And then Jagger just, we're good. Rocks have been our friend. Cliffs have been our friend. We'll hide behind this one and take the chicken dinner in game number 3. And that was your Sony Xperia replay.
Really, really solid play from a lot of those different teams. Seemed like Pittsburgh Knight had a moment there where they're like, look, we know we need to win the game. And then Omen had that amazing charge there at the end. I was like, oh, maybe things might change up a little bit here. And still Tempo Storm was able to rally and recover a lot of points despite some frankly not excellent decision making, taking too many fights, getting too spread out, being maybe a little bit too confident. Maybe that'll put them back in place now for game number 4. That's game number 3 in the books. What a game it was. As much as the players do sometimes, like, Sandhawk, I love it because we got so much action having the smaller
Me too,
map
man.
meant. Dude, it's excitement from start to finish, and that's what I love to see. That's what I love to see here for the finals of the ESL Mobile Open. And of course, none of this would be possible without our presenting partner. It's AT&T. So thank you so much to AT&T for helping to make this series a reality, supporting the grassroots of mobile esports, giving these players a platform in which to compete. Again, we had hundreds of PUBG mobile teams compete here in Season 4, and these are just our top 16. So many players put in so much work to get here, and we're seeing the culmination of that now with these matches. If you want to be one of them, if you want to see yourself cast in the top 16 for Season 5, if you want to have a shot to advance to the group stage of PMCO, you can do so. Signups are live right now. ! Sign up in the chat. Get your squad together. Get involved. And if you also, maybe want to win some free stuff like one of these, like an Xperia 1, if you want to get your hands on that, we're doing a giveaway. Just sign up for our email newsletter, ! Giveaway in the chat. We'll get you the link to that. Sony's giving away an amazing Xperia 1. We have 4 Bluetooth speakers being given away by AT&T, and you get to stay up to date with all the action. That's something you should definitely get involved with. We're going to jump onto a short break. When we come back, game number 4. Things are heating up. We'll see you soon.
This is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
You leave it to me. I'll get your taxes in an okay place.
What?
Well, just as soon as my audit is over. This gets my undivided attention.
Take a lot of trips to the islands, Phil.
Pretty great, right? Oh, Phil's legally dead. Fell off a boat. Going by Dennis now. Saleri. Long story. Then we got, oh, no, you're not going to want to see this.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Just okay is not okay. AT&T has America's best network, now with our best plans at our best prices, starting at $35 a line for 4 lines, new from AT&T.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
This is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
And it helps if I unmute myself before we go live.
That would help,
Egon.
Paul. That would definitely help.
Look, you know what? It's okay. We're back for season 4 of the. It had to happen once over the course of this weekend.
I was gonna
for the
say,
record.
like, this has been pretty good. All of you that are actually gonna call this out, I will yell at you because we've done a fantastic job getting halfway through before our first scuffed broadcast T-Tours call out here. But other than that, Paulito has led the ship correctly. I got you, dog.
You're also unmuted in Discord, so I'm hearing all this twice. So thank you.
Oh,
amazing.
whatever.
Amazing. No, we are just so happy to have been able to put on this broadcast for you here for season 4. Like I said, I'm in Verum. That's Degon. Welcome back. Look, this is the first time it's happened all weekend because we had, let's see, we had Asphalt 9 Legends, we had Clash of Clans, we had Dota Underlords, and now today with PUBG Mobile. It has been a jam-packed day of action. And of course, if you're just joining us, you're not super familiar with what the Mobile Open is all about. It's a platform, an opportunity to compete in the world of mobile esports. If you want to get involved and say, look, I've only been an amateur player, but maybe I want to try out some competition. I want to take my game to the next level. This is how you get involved, because there are over 200 million mobile gamers in the United States alone. And we have had over 669,000 of them compete so far in the ESL Mobile Open. And of the hundreds of squads that competed in season 4 for PUBG Mobile, only 32 made it to our playoffs, and today only 16 are competing in our finals. This is a big deal for a lot of these players because not only are we looking at prizing, not only are we looking at bragging rights, but they are looking to set themselves up for season 5, where we are very proud to announce that we have integrated into the broader PUBG Mobile esports ecosystem with PMCO, PMPL, and that is not easy to say and never will be. Anyway, you get a chance to just skip the open qualifiers if you win season 5 and go straight into the group stages of PMCO. That's a pretty big deal, Degon.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And of course, PMCO leads to PMPL, and the PMPL leads to the World League. And maybe you'll see a couple familiar faces on that World League stage. We'll leave it there. So definitely such a cool part for the Mobile Open to now really, truly mean grassroots and be a part of the whole pyramid itself. I think whenever it feels like you're connected to any step of any stage of the whole thing, it feels real to you. So super cool that the Mobile Open has been able to work with Tencent and work with PUBG Mobile and get ourselves in there.
Absolutely. And one of the other ways we made sure we integrated things well, made sure everything feel cohesive, was with our scoring system and with our rule set as a whole. Speaking of scoring, let's take a look at that now. 20 points for that chicken dinner, 6 more points than second place. That is a huge gap, even first to fourth, a 12-point spread. Big deal. But kills now being worth 1 point each. We've compressed our scoring system, which means that every single kill is worth that much more. This is a big deal for these players, of course. Now also playing in third person, playing with the full map set. A lot of things you should be familiar with if you've watched the broader space of competitive PUBG Mobile. But let's take a look at our leaderboard. I saw the players in chat clamoring for it. The fans wanted to see how we stacked up here after game number 3. And I mean, Wildcard Gaming, I'm not saying they've made quite an ascension, but oh my goodness, after the start the Tempo Storm had, to be able to pass them, that is a masterful series of plays.
Yeah, definitely is. Big shout outs to Rain for salvaging that terrible round at 0 kills, but found his way and losing his teammates super early on found his way all the way, I think, to 4th place or something ridiculous like that, and picking up a kill along the way. So Rain keeping the reins in on wild card there at the top. Pittsburgh Knights surging on through and execute again. Solid round. This was, I think, their worst round by far out of all 3, but still finding themselves in striking distance, single-digit deficit right now. And then Omen Elite sliding on up the scoreboard just a little bit. Tribe, I think they were in position to do well, but weren't quite able to turn it on after they had they survived a couple of wipes. But once it was time to get in the circle, they didn't have enough kills. They were already dinked and used a lot of their healing early on with battles against some other teams. And unfortunately for them, weren't able to work their way on the scoreboard as much as they wanted to.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a pretty big spread here between 1st and even 8th place at this point. So we'll see how these players do going into game number 4. It's kind of getting down to the wire now. If you're one of these teams sort of on the cusp, if you're like an Omen or a Tribe, a team that is expected to do well, you've got to step up. You've got to look for that chicken at this stage. An okay performance is not going to be enough. I'm also getting word that Cloud9, they have the ability with 3 members to join and play in 1 game. They're going to join in this one, game number 4. See if they can't have a little bit of fun as we get into our 4th game as well. But otherwise, the lobby is full and ready to go. 30 seconds till these players are in the plane and ready to drop. I cannot wait. It feels like the day is just flying by, Deacon.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to check in on Beowulf and say, hey, what's up? What's the deal? And he said, you know what? We only get 1 game, and we're expecting to have a lot of fights in this 1 map. So everyone else be aware. Cloud9 is throwing caution to the wind.
Beowulf still stands out to me as one of the most aggressive players in the game. I still have memories in my head back all the way to season 1, watching him just jump around rocks, blind firing and bodying kids. So we'll see if that's, hey, look, we're watching. Anyway, wow, what a coincidence. That literally didn't even look at that. But there you go. Joining back in here with Pyro and Uneven. So we'll see what kind of fun shenanigans they get up to as we're back here on Erangel. Oh my goodness, what a great plane path too. This is anybody's game. Anybody can pretty much anywhere. The whole map's your oyster.
Yeah, the whole map's there. And one thing that I love whenever we have PUBG mobile broadcasts is the whole community. It feels like the community comes out and watches and supports, and we have our memes and the camo tee and you know your calls and all the things. But I want to take a moment just to say, you know, me and Paul definitely appreciate you guys coming on out, sharing with the memes and pushing us to be better time and time again, because really we do this because of you, and we have such a great connection with the community as well. So big shout outs to everybody in the chat. You guys know who you are. Paul, myself, Ducky, everybody that gets to interact with you guys, always have fun. So thanks for always showing up and turning out and making things even more fun and even more entertaining than gameplay itself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, the game is only as good as its community. And when you have a game with fans like this, it's always amazing to see how they get involved. And, you know, friendly trash talk and banter, most of the time friendly, as teams just like to have a little bit of fun back and forth. Because obviously they play so many games together, whether it be scrims, whether it be in these competitions like the Mobile Open. Having the opportunity to just get that banter back and forth is always fun and sort of a staple of the competitive gaming environment. But as we take a look at where teams are dropping right now, it seems like a pretty good split as the circle is being identified here up towards Northeast. Actually, kind of a similar circle to what we saw last time around in game number 1. We do have, looks like a couple of teams potentially down there towards military base, so we'll keep an eye on that. Pittsburgh Knights are spreading out towards the west. Not as much of a highly contested area here towards Georgie. Oh, and here we go. There's going to be some action already here. I can smell it. Hello, at military base. Teams are scrambling. Here come the shots.
Yeah, Prime and Spray are like, I need a primary weapon so I can spray. And they are finding a lot of cosmetics right now. Not exactly what they want. Also, checking in with the Cloud9 guys, they all dropped at different locations. So one guy is up northwest, one guy is up northeast, and Beowulf is, I think he's over by the yellow houses. So we'll keep an eye on the on the kill feed for Cloud9, as Expose already has been exactly that. Ran right into Polarace is going to be the winner of that, and that's just unlucky. That's unlucky RNG here for Code. They went through all of the barracks and found a cool helmet and a backpack, and the backpack not doing too much to protect Prime here. Grave on top of the antennas, just kind of firing away right now, and there's Prime's stuck. This is such a terrible spot to be in. Prime's just putting his face on the tree, wondering how this happened. What did I do to deserve this?
What did I do wrong? Didn't pray to RNGesus. Things just didn't go quite correctly there for him. No, Code, that's really unfortunate. He also did find a vest, doing a whole lot for him, but this was just Polarace found the weapons. Code did not. And that's just the end of it. I mean, there's really not much more analysis even to give on this. Looks like Shaka's in the back there. But Prime's just like, team, what do I even do about this? He doesn't even have a gun. Look, they're treating. I love how much respect.
Oh no,
okay.
run Prime! Oh, it's a little short.
Oh my goodness. I love how much respect they're giving him. Like, on the off chance that he might have a weapon and might be just an absolute monster in this 1v4 situation. Oh my goodness. This is great. Okay, here we go.
It's just
hello, friends.
Yeah. I don't think they recognize he didn't have a weapon, because like I think it was ready to take a fist fight there. Prime was like, "You won't," and they're like, "Yeah, we won't."
But Ace has won the battle for military. They're going to have their pick of the litter down there. One remaining member of Code going to try and run off and survive as long as possible, find a vehicle, and eventually make his way over to the mainland. But up here, it seems like G25 came in as the #2 seed, and they have a lot of great players, and they've had a lot of almost moments. Why haven't they been able to quite convert these into super stellar finishes, D-Gon?
You know, I think that if you go back to Sandhawk, they were in a good position against Omen Elite, but you just saw how much cleaner the execution was from Angry. It wasn't Angry. It was it Juicy, Nico, and Zute? It was just cleaner. They ended up running into a team that executed better than them in that spot. Like, this is a team, again, we've touched on it. Kodo has been in the spot for quite some time. We've seen PG, we've seen Killswitch before. Cha-Cha's been around, and it feels like these guys know how to position themselves well. But at the end of the day, in that last fight, they just didn't execute. And that's why you play the game in the first place. You got to land your shots. You got to make sure you execute whatever plan you have to perfection, and they just weren't able to do so right now. And I think that's a frustrating thing, especially when you're forced to try out your plan, execute your plan against one of the top teams in North America. That's just unlucky, and that's part of the game. So I think for G25, they do have to play a little bit more aggressive here. They do have to force themselves into getting, double-digit kills for the last 2 rounds, which means that they're either going to fly or flame out very quickly.
Yeah, I think that's really a very great point at the end there. The idea that you can't, even a chicken dinner at this point, if you only walk away with, 3 or 4 kills, it's not going to be enough, because kills are worth so much more now. You need to be in the double digits. And again, 6 more additional points, I believe it is, for that first place finish. That is a big deal. You need to get a W here in these last 2 games. You have any chance of dethroning the teams that have already kind of cemented themselves up towards the top of the standings. But again, this lobby is so jam-packed full of talent. That's the fact right there. So jam-packed full of talent.
Packed full of talent.
Thank you. Yes. It's that one. There's so many great players in this lobby that it truly could be anybody's game, and all it takes is one of these top teams taking one rough fight early to totally just break this lobby wide open.
Right now, Tribe, again, they too, like G25, I think, had themselves in fantastic position over in Sandhawk, and just weren't quite able to capitalize as much as I think they could have. And so hopefully they'll be able to get back on their winning ways. But King A with a fantastic 1v1 against Tempo, able to take that one earlier. He's been outstanding so far, and Seagut also had himself an opportunity. Outsider and Memo a little bit quieter in terms of the combat today, but again, this is a team that can put it together and get themselves some success. As I said that, these are the two teams that are fighting right now. G25 able to get a knock there on the outsider.
Big deal. Start that one off. But seeing another fight here is Omen taking a look at JCR. And already Nico just opting to throw some shots down range. Sees the players up there on the rooftops. And Nico, rest of his team, not really with him here. But he's just taking some pot shots for the fun of it. I wonder what the thought process is. I wonder if they want to try and push this at this point, or if they're just going to off the plate a little bit safer. Again, they don't know what team they're looking at. Obviously, they have a pretty good sense of who's kind of dropping where, just based off of scrims and all that kind of stuff. But, the kill feed. Kinga, that shot over there as well. Maybe we can jump over and take a look at that fight as well, because Kinga has been doing just so well so far today. Kinga has just been like one of these forces in the scene for so long. I feel like he's just only continued to get better and better every single season.
Yeah, and just a little side anecdote with Kinga. It was so cool when we went to Malaysia. He was on the Omen Elite roster as a substitute. How he was recognized. Like, everyone kind of knew all the pro players, but as Kinga was sitting out with everybody in the audience as the substitute, and then would go backstage to go chat with the players in between rounds. A lot of the fans from Malaysia were just coming up to him being like, "Oh my God, I know who you are. Can we take a photo?" And he was so chill about everything. Very down to earth. And I think it's rare to find people like that don't have an assuming attitude. He has his edge, no doubt, and I think that's what makes him a great player. But when it came to how to treat others, it was really great, and I think it shows as a teammate for him, and it shows as a player. And he started losing a little bit of playing time over at Omen Elite, so he made the move over to Tribe, and now with this roster has an opportunity to shine very differently than he did in rosters past.
Yeah, and Tribe is definitely one of those organizations that's willing to invest in their players and make sure they have the resources they need and the time they need to continue to improve. So making that transition, of course, Omen's being one of these, all-star rosters that people have wanted to play on, or they've had, a lot of different players over the last year. But Tribe, where you have a chance to be a star, I feel like people will jump at that opportunity. So it's great to see him in a place where he's going to be able to hopefully show off a little bit more here. With the big gun in his hand. That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. So we jump back on board with Tribe. This time, Seagut's been one of these players who's always there, is always consistent, but somehow still manages to fly under the radar. And I don't know how that's possible. Maybe just because he's with so many other top players like Outsider and King, as I mentioned before. But Seagut's just been one of these consistent forces on this team.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this team is. Honestly, that's what Tribe is. And I think this is the formula that they're going with. There's no one here that is like, holy crap, they're the hard carry and everyone plays around them. It's everyone has their opportunity to shine, but knows how to play within a team facility. And maybe that's why they weren't able to succeed as much as on Sandhawk when they were in position to do so. Maybe they needed one voice to be like, hey, play off of me, I'll play front, and let's go for these kills and have the killer instinct. And it's so interesting to listen into team comms in terms of scrims is, this is a juicy battle. Tempo and Omen going back and forth here, and it's a little split. Juicy's by himself, so Tempo has to decide if they're going for the clean and if Omen's going to support. And it does look like Omen's going to start grouping up somewhere.
Hey, this is really interesting. Oh my goodness, there's the push into the building there. You can see from the outside, trying to give some additional shots is Rain, but Tensa is the one going to drop in the 2v1 situation right there. Trying to push around is Rain on the outside, but the teammate has arrived to give him some backup. Nico is there trying to help out Juicy. Jumping around the wall. Rain gets the shots. Oh my goodness. However,
the former member getting slayed there by Rain. Nico making the move over to Omen after being a long-standing member over at Tempo. He's like, yep, see you later. And angry, using his, magician abilities, hopping out of the window and then straight into the car. But now Tribe starting to crash onto Tempo. So we've got a couple of movers here. It's a long distance here, and Rain will be able to rotate himself into a little bit of tall grass. So he might be safe here. But early action between top teams, and Omen end up going down, and now Tempo losing too. So Spec and HX24 saying, "See you guys later. I guess we'll save the points for ourselves here."
Tempo tried to get there to save him. They're putting the vehicle as sort of the meat shield right in front of there. It's a regular shield in this case. And now HH24 is going down as well. Accelerate's getting the action. Tempo Storm, what has happened?
I don't know. Tempo in a lot of trouble right now. This is crazy amounts of trouble as really Tribe just the beneficiary here. 3 kills early on, and this is exactly what they needed. And my worry for any team that was trying to catch Wildcard or Tempo was expecting Wildcard or Tempo to lay an egg, but that is what's happening right now for Tempo. It's up to Spec, who has been playing that solo role for quite some time. It's up to him now to try and salvage some of these points.
And this seems like it's becoming a common thing in this game so far, that one of these top teams loses a bunch of members early and the one member has to stay alive. In the case of Tempo, it's been a couple games now. The amazing opener that they had is now slowly just starting to deteriorate as other teams continue to step up, continue to have their number. And it's Tribe with 3 kills already, looking to push their way up the leaderboard. They have a bit of a ways to go. This is, of course, game number 4 of 5. So they only have 2 more opportunities for this chicken dinner, but game number 4 is starting out pretty well for them.
Wow, what a change. I wasn't quite ready for that, as and we follow along with Acer. Acer, Spring, Slicky, and Enigma now sitting in a fantastic position to continue to extend their lead over Tempo Storm, with Tempo just 1 point, sitting literally on 1 point right now in terms of a kill, and I guess 1 point in terms of a placement, since even finishing in last you get 1 point.
And just for showing up, we give you a point for that in this situation. But yeah, that's just kind of unfortunate there if you're a Tempo Storm fan. But this means now that the pack, the game is wide open. Anybody can step up as they need to. Players are playing this pretty passive right now, but as these next couple circles start to move, this is where we're going to see things shift. Another team we haven't seen a whole lot of yet so far today, or in this game, I should say, of course, it's Execute Esports. They have had some great runs today. Their individual, aiming is on point. The way they handle themselves in these fights, super comfortable. And we saw it, early, I think 2nd place in that first game with the heal off, and they've only continued to look solid throughout the course of the day. I think they're in like 4th place right now. They're looking really darn solid.
Yeah, I think they're in 3rd. I think they're actually ahead of Pittsburgh Knights, who weren't able to move up as much as they wanted to with that victory. And you touched on it. They're going to be the big beneficiary with Tempo going down early. Pittsburgh Knights also on the move and playing the game that they do. Normally a conservative game, but they were blessed by the Circle Gods early. They need to find that same level of success. Oh, look at those nice pants. Nice pants by J7. He's wearing the bape. I got the bape. He's baped up here. And just in case anyone was wondering, not all the skins are fully rendered by the spectators, so no one is not wearing clothes, so you can't do they're not breaking any competitive rule sets. That's more of on the spectator side of things, so don't freak out. It's all good.
Everybody's got pants.
Yeah, everyone's got pants. Endgame, another team that has been hanging around for a while. I think mostly on the back of Ironsight, who's just been carrying the team after 1 or 2 of them fall early. A couple times it was actually Everfury that was like, "Yep, I'm dead," and then all of a sudden they get the 3v4 buff. Leads to good stuff.
Yeah, this team has been involved in a lot of different scraps in the last few games, but they haven't quite been able to come out with like a clear, decisive victory in too many of them. They oftentimes have lost a couple members. They've been punished a little bit. Speaking of potentially getting punished, it's Rio, who we've seen take some incredible 1v1s kind of situations here, driving in with reckless abandon.
Yeah,
and is now okay.
He needs to find a place to park. He needs to find a place to park because they're about to run into JCR, and JCR wanting to finally get themselves out of last place. That's a good opportunity. A Polar A squad that's just kind of driving around with no sense of direction.
Yeah, clearly not plugging that GPS into AT&T 5G. Just all over the place right now. Not an ideal situation. Yeah. Oh, Grave. Oh, yeah, there it is. And
yep.
Nomi. Okay.
Nomi.
Dude, where's my car?
Rio's all by his lonesome. It's Rio and Devil. They're on top of each other. They'll bandage up, but eventually someone was going to get those points because Polar Ace ran out of space and had nowhere to go. They crashed into the houses, and now Tribe thinking about getting a little aggressive and stepping on up to finish off the final 2 here. Everyone getting on the same page before they start pushing on up.
Yeah, that's huge. So, outsider though, taking some shots, trying to figure out where exactly they're getting shot from though. That's the question. They're out in the open right now. And
is it Pittsburgh Knights maybe? I have no idea.
I'm not sure, but all I know is this circle is very centrally located, which worked out for everybody who was already moving towards the center of the circle. This is about to be a bit of a clown fiesta, Degon. Everybody is moving on in right now, and there are still all 16 teams alive. Do it, Goon Lips! Do it! Oh.
Wouldn't be a mobile open without a caster curse showing us that players do not know how to drive in real person, especially if they can't drive on their phones.
I lied. It was Elise. We were spectating Goon Lips. Either way, almost. That would have been sick if they did like that pseudo barrel roll, like an aileron roll. It would be pretty cool. Anyway, just saying. Just fun fact in Star Fox 64, they say do a barrel roll, but it's actually not a barrel roll.
It's not?
So it's an aileron roll. Yep.
An aileron.
It's the biggest lie. An aileron roll. Yep, that's a real thing. You can Google it, but don't do it now. Watch the games. But just saying.
The other thing I wanted to check in on right now was our Cloud9 boys. As soon as we said they were gonna hop on in, the Cloud9 fanboys started and fangirls came out of nowhere spamming their emotes. Pyra died first. He got shotgunned, and now it's Uneven and Beowulf just kind of chilling in a building right now. I don't know if they're gonna make a move yet, but they are hanging very far outside the current safe zone. And actually, I think Bayo's getting driven by. He almost got crashed upon by Shaka, but Shaka drives on by. Yeah, there it is. He sees a lot of the. He heard the vehicle drive on by, but Bayo, he actually could walk on in, so Bayo might be try hard in here and sneaking some points away for Cloud9 as Accelerate does find Shaka, and they say thank you very much for the points. Good, sir.
However, Tribe, on the other hand, needs to be a little bit careful. Beowulf has managed to get by unscathed. Tribe can't quite say the same. It is the Pittsburgh Knights, you're right, over in this other compound here, keeping some eyes on them, but
Here's the thing. This is the thing that stresses me out about Tribe. They pick off two. You know, there's only two in that building, and now you're getting shot from behind, and they're starting to hesitate. Like this kind of lack of killer instinct, this lack of, hey, look, two are down, two are flushed. So it just means there's only two, and we know no one's on the other side of the ridge, but we definitely know someone's shooting us in the butt. Like, make the move, make the call, consolidate, make that happen. They're not doing so, and they're playing footsie and losing against Pittsburgh Knights.
I agree 100%. This indecisive play is not sort of becoming of a team who wants to walk away as their Season 4 champions. They need to, I love it, consolidate, get together, make a play as a team. Even if it's not necessarily the 100% best decision, doing the wrong play as a whole squad is almost always going to result in something better. And in this case, with the amount of experience that Tribe Gaming has, there's a good chance they can make the right play. They just need to trust themselves, trust their communication, get on the same page, and get it done. As we jump on board now with Simplicity, who again snuck in originally as that 16th seed, just barely making into our finals here. They've had an okay time of things so far. They've sort of been involved sort of peripherally in some of these fights, but if they want to make any chance at a last-ditch swing at this top 5, they need to have one heck of a game.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like we haven't seen those iconic moments. Simplicity usually has one moment a tournament. It's like, oh, Doc's popping off. Oh, Russell's popping off. Oh, there's Irish. Oh, Lolo's doing something. We haven't seen that yet by them. We've seen Lolo, I think, get one kill, and that's all I remember so far. Like, it hasn't been Simplicity really having the big pop-off moment, but their time might be coming because Spring's about to run right into Russell. Oh, and he heard it. They both heard it.
They did. Real close right now, just over this ridge. Spring does have the optics. He does have the guns to make this happen, though. All right, Slicky. That's a play. That's a play. That was a play. All right. Okay, this is... Alrighty, then. Simplicity. Keep it simple, team. Slicky did the most simple thing you could do, which is drive straight to your death. And now the rest of the team is in shambles. Spring's just sitting here wondering, what the heck just happened? My team is going nuts, and now everybody's dead.
Yeah, that looked like good old squad on me type tendencies there. It's like you just going and try to 1v4. Not so good. not the best play there as Doc picks up the kill, and now Enigma, who tried to go. It's the I think I can mentality. You think you can get the revive down. And now look at Lolo starting to press on up onto Enigma. Enigma will be able to work his way backwards, and looks like Spring got himself into the Wizard Tower, and Russell just making sure the revive will not be coming through here.
Wild card, just I don't know what's going on right there. That was the pop-off moment that we needed from Simplicity. Like I said, got to keep it simple. Drive right into the team. That'll get her done. But now Enigma and Spring are here. Got to try and make this one work. And again, it seemed like Spring had heard the enemy in front of him. Like it sounded like he was cognizant of that, yet maybe not quite communicating that with the teammates there. Now him and Enigma kind of in a rough position here on the edge of the circle. They're not actually in it though. Door has been chunked now from Simplicity, using that destructible cover to their advantage. And Simplicity, with this little defilate they have right now in the circle, this is actually a great position for them, D-Gon.
Yeah, they're in a fantastic position right now. And so they get gifted it, no doubt, but works out well for them.
And we'll see as Endgame, or what remains of them, are able to add to the conversation here. So they're driving up on a compound owned by JCR, Everfury, and Diablo. Well, maybe this isn't the one for us. Maybe the next one. Maybe the next one will be our time to shine as they're out here in the open still. Opting to get out of the vehicle, heal up. But this is not a great position to be in, as now we're seeing the fight continuing here between Wildcard and Simplicity, just going back and forth right now, trying to get over this ridge. Not quite aware of where the opponents are, as Enigma is flanking around the other side, just trying to get in the circle.
Yeah, he's trying to get in the circle. A guy that wasn't able to was uneven. Thierry gets cut out and finished off there. So Cloud9 down to only one member, like Tempo Storm. Spec still alive, though, and still collecting the points. So is Angry as well. But here comes the kills. Bayo is able to pick up one. Bayo's able to pick up two here, and he's still up. So Bayo not doing too bad for himself right now.
Seemed like a bit of a three-way fight between Execute Esports, Happy Campers, and then Beowulf as well. As Pittsburgh Knights seem to crash to their demise. What was that? Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Not an ideal situation. As Angry is now going to try and get himself into the circle here. He's trying to go full stim, trying to make it into the fight, into the fray. As Wildcard trying to rally and recover from an abysmal engagement with Simplicity. As we do see Strangers off to the side as well. What a game so far, D-Gon. Things are really starting to heat up.
Yeah, the revives need to come in very quickly here for Pittsburgh Knights, because that's Tempo is in the space. I think that's Tribe also that's near them as well. And there's Jagger trying to take shots, not quite able to land, doesn't recognize it's Spec. He'd have no idea because Spec's by himself. And so Jagger holding that area. And so now House is in cover, very important for these teams. And it looks like Endgame has been ended, and their good march on up not going to continue as Beowulf is able to secure that kill earlier.
Beowulf. Obviously, this is the one game that C9 is going to be able to play. He wants to maintain his reputation as a bit of a fragger. So I'm not really surprised that he's trying to get involved in these fights, especially considering how they dropped. There he is. The rest of the team is dead. He's got some eyes there, but eyes have been had on him as well as the Happy Campers in a world of hurt trying to come around the corner here. Can Bayo make this one happen? Nope. He's going to stay sneaky snake for now. Doesn't want to expose himself to the team over at Execute Esports, but he could have taken the shot, D-Gon.
Yeah, he could, but I think he wants to make sure he leaves himself some space to walk on in just a bit. Here we go. He's taking the shots now. Elise is going to run the opposite direction. Someone else is going to try to send it on the vehicle. All the while, another crate coming on in. Yep, Bayo's able to pick that one up, and now is forced to run it. He's going to try to get himself on inside the circle. He has a motorcycle. Let's follow along with Bayo until he dies, because this is where the real action is. The only time we're going to see the best North American team in the Mobile Open in season 4. And here we go. He's going to send it. He's going right on into Pittsburgh Knights, crashes into the wall. Sam comes out, and he gets finished off by Raven. So an exciting ride to his demise. Down goes Cloud9 out in 12th place.
I mean, not bad. Outliving a few of their opponents with only 3 members in the server, going a little nutty as we still see the battle between Simplicity and Wildcard. It has not stopped. This has been 5 minutes of continuous action. But if you look at the screen right now, that is a lot of multicolored little banners right there, D-Gon. A lot of teams have made it to this light stage here with 10 teams left, 31 players alive. and the team that can get themselves a good position can cover their backs. That's huge. Not getting flanked at this stage, not getting surprised is massive. Taking control of what little terrain, what little cover you can manage, it's massive. As Tribe, Memo is feeling this right now, taking some shots from the flank. G25 is taking over that compound. That can actually be huge for them. They need a win here.
Yeah, they do need a win. Tribe is going back to King A, doing a fantastic job surviving for such a long time. He was able to eliminate, accelerate, but not quite able to get himself out to safety. Now, Memo trying to use the vehicle to drive on over to the rest of his team. A revive does come on up onto Outsider, so Seagut able to partake in that. Memo, trying to take a peek on where the fight's happening, but nope, not quite able to. Seagut finishing off Raven, so it does look like Tribe is safe for a little bit longer as Accelerate does lose another one. Maniac is by himself over there in a shack. Taking a look at the overall kill feed so far, Omen Elite has been taken out. Polar Ace also taken out as well. So that does mean Tempo still surviving with Spec somewhere. Russell now trying to get vantage point on multiple members, I think, as Happy Campers, as he's facing on down. And there it is. Spec just kind of chilling in the grass, waiting for everyone else to finish off. He hears all the fighting happening to the side of him. That's Pittsburgh Knights and Tribe. And at some point, he's going to have to send it. Sammy for JCR looking for an opportunity to go. Alexi just gets finished off, so it's just ZBM and Sammy. And they're going to make a run to go on in. On the side, gets finished off by Switch, I believe. Yep, Kill Switch able to have that one work for it in his favor. Jagger trying to heal on through because he has no health. Gets finished off. No placements with that last bandage. And falls there. And Tribe getting finished, or is it Nasty getting finished? I don't know who just got finished there, but the kill feed popping off right now. Cha-Cha taking a peek, kicking the door open, able to get one there, able to get two there. Nice. A nice play by Cha-Cha and Kill Switch to make that happen.
Beautiful play there from Cha-Cha, just peeking on into the exact perfect moment, getting the spray down, laying out all these smokes as well. Tribe is still alive. To answer your question, D-Got, look at this. Look at the spread right now. Simplicity have completely taken over their side of the map. They've got the ridge. They've got nobody there contesting them. The rest of these teams are all just squished in around this little bit of compound. You've got a couple members of Tribe. Looks like we've got Strangers over there as well. And G25. 4 teams remaining. We've got 4 members. 2 members, 4 members, and just the 1, it seems like, from Strangers. Oh my goodness. But G25 and Simplicity, 2 teams that have sort of been in the middle of the pack, they have an opportunity right now to jump up in the standings, but Tribe is going to look to say no to that. King, come on, let's go.
Yeah, actually, Strangers has 4 members up right now. So we haven't seen them in this area. They are strangers to the final circle, to be honest. And there's an opportunity for them to get some points here. It's between them and G25, the bottom feeders that need to move on up. And Cobra taking a step to do that as he picks off a kill here. Cha-Cha, I think, now is the last one currently up for G25. Russell now taking shots at Enigma, saying, hey, don't cross that line, good sir. This is our circle. And I think Enigma's going to try to send it with a vehicle. Yeah, there he goes. Russell getting caught out, though. Revenge with the flankerino. And then G25, it's PG getting finished off there as well. King A, low, will be able to survive through Nemo. And so Tribe now moving on through. Man, and it might be Strangers taking this one here because Simplicity got spread out and got flanked a little bit. Irish having the pop-off moment. We said they haven't had this moment quite yet. Here's an opportunity for them to do so. Simplicity keeping it simple, but getting finished off there. Nice peek by Enigma. No answer back. Revenge getting finished off. The vehicle blows up, so it's just Memo, and Russell is going to be staying alive. So Memo's going to stay up for just a little bit longer, but Simplicity should be taking this one.
Oh my goodness. You saw Strangers so stacked up. When I looked at them on the minimap, I thought there was only 1 teammate left alive, but instead all 4 of them were there, and all 4 of them went down trying to take these individual little fights, peeking over the ridges up against Simplicity, but every single time it looked like one member was able to win a battle. Another member of Simplicity was there to try and help. Memo survived through it all, though. He just took it easy, and they know this now. They're looking at the numbers. They know it's only 1 player left out. Look at them all just searching for him right now, D-Gon. Looks like they haven't gotten the memo quite yet, but we'll see how long that takes.
Yeah, Memo, good luck. He has no smokes. Yep, that was it.
GG.
But big GG here by Simplicity. They took the fight head on, didn't walk away from Wildcard, and was able to make sure they took care of business.
That was solid. That was an initial fight with Wildcard that they took advantage of. They executed it well, and then they held their ground. They controlled their area. They didn't get too risky. They didn't try and chase kills. They let their opponents just sort of fight it out. They're like, look, we have control of this. It's still in the circle. This is our zone. And they made sure that nobody came up behind them. Nobody really got the flanks. They utilized their utility well. They backed each other up in fights. It was just clean. It was just solid. I mean, that's really, it seems like, the elevation of simplicity that I wanted to. They made smart, concise decisions. They didn't get too hyphy, and that did a lot for them in that game. Let's take a look back, though, at our Xperia replay. Degon, please walk us through it.
Yeah, again, starting off with action between top teams, Omen, Elite, and Tempo, picking fights against each other, but then I think it was Tribe that, like, third party that made it very difficult. Tempo ended up losing 3 members, and Omen as well. You got to see Elise's great driving skills and Beowulf driving into a wall and dying after a couple cool plays there. Not gonna lie, the Cloud9 boys participating pretty awesome there. Cha-Cha kicked the door open, picked up a couple kills for G25 to get themselves into this final circle, but Memo, just the sneaky snake in the grass, able to make a sneaky play there, pick up a couple, open up space for him and King A to slide themselves into second place. But we didn't quite get to see the big fight earlier between Simplicity and Wildcard. And I think that was the one that really was the tell of the tale, because once Simplicity won that, they were blessed with the Circle Gods. And I think if Wildcard wins that, then they're blessed with the Circle Gods. And imagine how different the standings become if it's Wildcard that's standing there with 3 or 4 members up in that final circle. I don't think the standings will be as close as it is or will be once we calculate them all in.
Oh, for sure. I think that's a huge point. The fact that, every single fight matters at any single point in the game, especially it's a battle royale. Like, you only get one life. You're only going in with the gear that you have on you at the time. But by that notion, Simplicity was able to stay calm under that pressure. But I also didn't appreciate just how much damage Memo did there at the end with G25, just all the things that he was able to do to keep himself in the game. So got to give all the props in the world to Tribe. That solid second place finish will do a lot for them in the standings. But like you said, we'll check in with that after the break. But before we jump onto a break, before we get into game number 5, I need to give a big shout out to the official mobile partner of the ESL Mobile. And of course, it is Sony with their Xperia phone, Xperia 1. It is an awesome piece of technology. As I said, I've got the chance to use it, to play some games on it. Degon, I know you have as well, and we've been having a blast using this. So thank you so much to Sony for joining us here with the Xperia 1. Not only does it have that awesome 21:9 display, that cinema-wide display, it's got that 4K OLED monitor, so all your games are looking crispy. And of course, great for just playing these long, extended gaming sessions with that game enhancer feature. So thank you so much to Sony for providing us with these amazing phones. And of course, if you want to get involved in Season 5, signups are live. If you're a fan of PUBG Mobile, if you want to compete, be one of hundreds of teams who threw their hat in the ring and got involved, you absolutely can do so. ! Sign up in the chat. And also, I don't know if you want to win some cool free stuff, one of 4 amazing Bluetooth speakers from AT&T, one of these Xperia ones from Sony, you absolutely can. Sign up for our email list, stay up to date with all things Mobile Open, and of course, enter for a chance to win one of these awesome prizes. We're going to jump onto a break for now, but when we come back, our 5th and final game. You do not want to miss it.
This is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
You leave it to me. I'll get your taxes in an okay place.
What?
Well, just as soon as my audit is over. This gets my undivided attention.
Take a lot of trips to the islands, Phil.
Pretty great, right? Oh, Phil's legally dead. Fell off a boat. Going by Dennis now. Solari. Long story. Then we got, no, you're not gonna want to see this.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Just okay is not okay. AT&T has America's best network, now with our best plans at our best prices, starting at $35 a line for 4 lines, new from AT&T.
I am Paul and Verum Toddkill. I'm the host of the ESL Mobile Open, and we are very excited to announce our partnership with Sony Mobile and the Xperia One. As an avid mobile gamer, anytime I get a chance to get my hands on a cool piece of technology, I jump at the chance. And this phone has been a lot of fun to play with. Having this 4K OLED discrete 21:9 aspect ratio, this is different than anything I've used in the world of mobile gaming before, because what's awesome is having this wider display means I get my thumbs out of the way when I'm playing games like PUBG Mobile. Just having that additional screen real estate is awesome, and having this super crisp and clear display means games like Asphalt 9 Legends look even better. And of course, when I want to have these, maybe a little longer gaming sessions, having the game enhancer built in to optimize my battery, turn off all those pesky notifications helps so much when I just want to focus on the game. It also helps that it has an amazing battery and a top-of-the-line processor. It's awesome to see Sony taking strides, pushing the boundaries when it comes to this technology in a phone, especially when it comes to the world of mobile gaming, and we are so excited to see what the future holds.
This is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
Hello and welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open Season 4 Finals. Big smiles, D-Gon. I'm in Verum here as well, bringing you all of the action all day long. And there has been action, to say the least.
Yeah, a lot of action finally. I think in games 1 and 2, everyone was feeling each other out. Erangel, even though that's the familiar map, that's like it's the first game. Like you've got stage jitters, you've got these two handsome, talented, available for work casters talking about your every move. And it gets you a little scared. And then in game 2, they're like, hey, we're not used to playing this map with casters, because normally on ESL we don't normally play Miramar. And then finally when we went to Sandhawk, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this whole tournament's about fighting each other. And then so we got that, a fantastic round there, and then a great round of Erangel here, and we're going to close it out and crown a champion on Miramar.
Oh my goodness. It is going to be exciting, to say the least, and especially given how these leaderboards have shaken out. Speaking of leaderboards, let's see where these standings have fallen. Up at the top with a 3-way tie, Wildcard Gaming, Tempo Storm, and Tribe Gaming are fighting it out in the closest start to a final game we have seen yet in the ESL Mobile Open. 58 points apiece.
Yeah, I mean, the big question is, are we going to get a new champion or our first repeat champion in Tempo Storm, or will it be Tribe or Wildcard taking this one home? Execute finally, the underdog story now starting to fade away a little bit. 11 points is a massive gap to close, but if you can get a chicken dinner and another howler of a game out of 2 of those 3 teams, which isn't that crazy given like what's happened. Like Slicky kind of lost his mind and tried to go 1v4. Tempo unfortunately taking a fight against another top team in Omen Elite. And then Tribe hasn't always been able to pull the trigger at the right time, so Execute could slide on in there. And a big surge here by Simplicity. Pittsburgh Knights, our other chicken dinner winning team, starting to slide down, accelerate, and endgame the top half with Omen Elite outside of the top half. And most importantly, shout outs to Cloud9 getting 3 points on the board for all 3 members that participated today.
Look, they showed up with 3 players. They got 3 points. Sounds about right to me. But still, 3-way tie for first place. If any one of these teams walks away with the chicken dinner, barring some crazy second place kill finish, it's pretty much guaranteed that that team is going to be our victor. And I hope so, because we've been very fortunate so far for our Mobile Open finals. I don't know if you all know this at home, depending on how many finals you've watched, but the team that has won at the end has always been our victory team. It's been very fortunate for us as casters because we immediately know who's going to win, and I can do the call. They are your Season 4 champions. But this time it's so close, D-Gon, it may come down to the wire, so much so that we might even be able to call a victor as the game ends.
Yeah, and so again, with the new scoring system, as kills are weighted a little bit heavier than usual, placement it'll definitely play a factor. But if 2 teams go out in 6th and 7th, then it's reliant on kills, and also depending on who gets who gets the chicken dinner later on. So a lot of factors here. We'll be aware of our call. I think this will be the first time where we can't have a clear champion call here, but a different looking tournament so far, Paul. Like it's been a different, obviously, with Cloud9 not being able to participate, take up as much space, all the big roster swaps and who's ended up where. A couple of teams that have participated in all the first 3 in 2019 no longer exist in 2020. And, you got to see a couple of partnerships or single players now moving to form rosters together. And it's been a lot of fun to see. And then again, Execute just being the surprise up there up top. It's been a lot of fun to see, and I can't wait for the conclusion.
Well, you don't have to wait much longer, Degon, because the game is ready. Let's get into it. Game 5 here on Miramar, the last game of the day, where we will crown ourselves the champion for Season 4. These players have put in the work over the last few months to get here, playing many, many games between the open, closed qualifiers, the playoffs. The top 16 have arrived. They tried to put their stamp on this server, but in the end, 3 teams are tied going into this game, which means that it's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, we've got 15 teams, 60 players, so all the teams except Cloud9. When you only have 3 players that can post to a lobby, you can only do that once in the tournament. And unfortunately, so no Cloud9 here, no more Beowulf sends it, no more Pyra going shotgun against shotgun in some team fights here. But a couple players to think about that have really stepped up for me. I think Iron Sight showing he's still got some stuff left in the tank. There for end game. King A, who got moved on from Omen Elite earlier, showing he's still got a lot left, and he was a sub for one of the top teams in NA. He's one of the best players in NA, still showing off his skill set here. So it's been really cool to see. And then I challenged them. I was like, Simplicity hasn't had their pop-off moment. And there they were. They had their pop-off moment and did great. So, and it was a team effort there. So great for Simplicity to have that. So it's been a lot of fun here in the first 4 games. And I think for a couple of these other teams, you're kind of wondering, like, man, every time they count themselves as the top echelon, but they can't get it done in the big game. For me, it's like, hey, Pittsburgh Knights, like, you had a couple opportunities here, you got yourself the chicken dinner, and you want to go for it. They end up kind of playing around with Tribe a little bit too long, and Tribe end up winning and then getting the many needed points to now put them up into a tie for first place. So it's those types of calls, I think, that you look back on and maybe you can dissect. Maybe they did make the right play, we don't know, but from the outside looking in, you kind of wish that they had a little bit more aggression.
Aggression at this stage will make a big difference, as we've seen before, and as you've mentioned repeatedly over the broadcast, for good reason. Kills are going to make a lot of difference in this last game when it comes to the final scoring. As we jump on board with Tempo Storm, one of these consistent staples, one of these pillars of the PUBG mobile community, one of these top players. Everybody has played in these scrims that Tempo has helped to organize, so you definitely have a lot of experience playing with and against them. But now they really just need to show their myriad of experience, the sheer amount of games they have under their belts, and they need to step up in this final one if they want to walk away as the victors here. But there are a lot of teams gunning for them. There are a lot of teams who want to take them down. One of them, of course, we saw there for a second, Pittsburgh Knights. Could have also accepted Tribe Gaming Observers. Either one would have worked for me as being another one of these orgs looking to make their mark in the world of PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, I also wanted to take a quick second to shout out, because we haven't really talked about them too much in terms of while they've been fighting, but like Accelerate's up in 7th place. Like I don't really recall talking about Accelerate that much, but Accelerate in 7th place, and with a big game, get themselves a 20-point game or something of that nature, they could find themselves in the top 5, maybe the top 4, because that top 3 is just so crazy up there. But Accelerate has done a great job, like, hanging around for a while, so good for them. So Accelerate and Exclusive are X teams, giving it to everybody right now.
Execute.
Dang it, Execute. That's what I meant. My bad.
Execute. You always have one. What was the other one? With the nuns or something. What was that?
Oh.
No. What was that name of that team?
No.
what was it
Mercenaries and
called?
missionaries.
Yeah, that's it.
No.
That's it. Yes,
The
great
nuns.
memory,
Why were they
D-Gun.
nuns? They were just trying to make sure that everyone takes the GLHF pledge. They were good people. the missionaries.
Bringing the good word, all right. Bringing the good word. No, this time, Execute Esports had done a fantastic job. But yeah, Accelerate also, they've been involved in so many fights. I haven't necessarily seen them like outright winning too many of them, but like you said, the scores are still showing up. So it's really interesting to see how this lobby has changed. And again, not having another juggernaut, another behemoth like Cloud9 in the server. Again, unfortunately, not being able to field a full roster, only being able to submit 3 members to that last game, has created so many more opportunities for teams, and not just the established teams, not just the quantifiable pros, but for the up-and-coming young guns who want to make a name for themselves. This was the lobby to do it. And if there are organizations looking to get involved in PUBG Mobile, I hope they're watching, because we have so much talent in these top 16 teams, and a lot of them aren't signed. There's a lot of great opportunities here, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you know, and we've seen teams like kind of grow from these unsigned squads to teams trying to work their way on up. And now that there is a clear path to pro, you know, teams can figure out where they want to invest. If you want to get into the grassroots and start low, or pick someone up in the PMCO phase or something of that nature, like there's opportunities here, and you can get in early and, you know, show some loyalty to a team, and they'll show it back.
Oh, absolutely. Again, the community is pretty fantastic. Just a lot of really passionate people involved in continuing to further the competitive scene here for PUBG Mobile. But okay, let's take a look at a lot of these different teams. I like the fact that we're jumping around a bit here. Endgame. Oh my goodness, they started off the day pretty hot. They were involved in a lot of these fights, kind of petered out in the kind of games 3 and 4 there a little bit, but I'm curious to see what Diablo and crew can do when they're actually given a chance to set up and play their game. It feels like they've been forced with Everfear and Ironsight, forced into some of these awkward situations where they've had to take less optimal engages. I want to see what happens when they can take a fight on their terms.
Yeah, but that to me is the whole strategy of PUBG and PUBG Mobile. It's putting yourself in the right position so that you can execute. And that's where this team has struggled a little bit here, where they are, it seems like they rotate late, or they're just not in a good spot to go and get to the next phase. They're always on the outskirts, and they're pinched between 2 teams, and that's on them, you know, or they've gotten picked early and they have to play 3v4 or 2v4, and that, again, unlucky, but kind of on them when they're dropping in those areas and picking those fights. And the fact that no team has had any action in the first 7 minutes of this game, I think, bodes well. But how are the teams going to adjust to this next circle? Like, I think of Pittsburgh Knights, I think of Wildcard, and I think of Tempo, all really playing the circle very well and getting lucky, but putting themselves in positions to receive that luck. All right, it's like where that circle ends up going, and I think that's such a big key factor into finding success. And, you know, everyone's like, oh, just be in the circle and be with 4 up. Well, the strategy before that is so intricate that that's what needs to be focused on.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, false. What do you don't fall off things? No, absolutely. I mean, before we get into these fights, before we ever fire a single bullet, positioning is what matters. Positioning allows you to set yourself up to get these kills, to get these fights. And now we're seeing that happening right now. And who is it driving in to an opposing squad? Who is it not in position? It's exactly the team we're talking about in Endgame. Ironsight now in a terrible spot, driving by G25, and G25 is taking advantage. D-Gun, this is point and click.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about.
Yep, that's what we're talking about. And Ironsight doesn't look like he has any help in sight, as multiple members of G25 going to start surrounding them. Also, what is this? Tempo losing one early as well. So gonna have to keep an eye on that. Ironsight, oh boy, Kano runs right on through, tries to get the jump shot, and he's gonna get finished off. So G25, another one of those teams struggling as well. And that's kind of why. Like, you have 3 teammates there by you to make that happen. It doesn't work out. And Polari's picking up a kill onto Rain. And so Rain now knocked.
Tempo?
Should be finished off here in just a second. A bit of a back and forth between Polaris and Tempo.
Tempo's in shambles,
Devil's sitting on
D-Gun.
the
What
outside.
is happening? There's 3 of them in here. They are battered and bruised. This is a rough situation right now. If you're a Tempo Storm fan, we are seeing the drop onto Nomi coming in from Tense. He does have that Uzi point blank range, but Devil is on the flank looking to try and go in and make something happen here. The whole team is collapsing. Can Tempo make this happen? Trying to take the fight through the smoke, trying to survive through here. Can they collapse onto Devil? Not quite able to line up the shots here. Devil is going to go around the outside. We're seeing fights breaking out across the board right now. All of a sudden, the action is heating up here in the desert on Miramar. Devil has done a great job of just skirting on the outside, confusing the crap out of Tempo Storm right now as the rest of the team is trying to collapse. They're kind of surrounded. Tempo has one member in this other building, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this is a 2v3 here for Polar Ace, but they're completely surrounded by nothing. So they have to take this fight. If they run away, they're just going to get shot in the back. And that's why you see Polar Ace trying to take this fight on with Tempo, even though they're down a member. HH24 and Spec up close. Tensa took the 1v1 and was able to win it against Rio, I believe. Polar Ace trying to take this one. Oh, Devil's able to get one there. The HH24 Spec trying to peek. Not quite able to. The smoke is down, so the revive will come through. Shots through the wall. Oh, boy. Able to land there onto Devil. He's forced to go back. The nade coming on through. Oh, Spec has been spotted by Grave. Grave pulls the pin. Looking at throwing the nade. Should go wide here. Yep, does go wide. Tries to through the door. Grave, I think, now trying to peek through the smoke. The hay bales will give them cover for a little bit longer. Oh, the nades looking to line up here. And Grave trying to make sure they don't get flanked by Spec, who's doing exactly that. Spec trying to get the peek there. But Grave, wiser to it, not allowing the peek to go on through. And Spec now going to the opposite side.
And this is an opportunity now for Spectre to get a massive flank. This is what they're looking for. Now Devil and the crew is split, but there's the knock coming in from Devil on the side. Nice shots. Able to rain that one down, but Tense is looking to try and join in. He was in the building across the way, but now he realizes he needs to get back in. Spectre is cleaned up. The hopes of Tempo Storm are quickly fading away. The flash of lightning, more like the flash in the pan in this final game, as slowly their chances of having this chicken dinner finish are just dying, Degon, as every single member of their team is in shambles right now. Tense is back. He was trying to offer cover support from so far away, but that just wasn't the angle at all. He could not help his team. And he couldn't push. Simplicity! Simplicity is coming on the flank. That's Russell downing Devil. Oh my goodness, the third party is real right now. They heard the action. They heard the gunfire. Simplicity realizes their chances to win this whole thing, to get another chicken dinner, to take out one of the top contenders. It's all happening right now. Here we go.
Yeah, good call here by Tempo to start pushing. They know one's already down. Grave is going around the corner, runs right into Tensa. And so Simplicity accidentally giving a huge assist to Tempo Storm. And Tempo survives with 2 and will be able to at least scavenge on and move on and try to pick up a couple of points. They do get 3 kills from this. Russell steals one away from Tempo. But, man, that was quite the pickle. If you kept track of the kill feed, you know that there's at least 2 down, but I don't think Simplicity is going to push Tempo Storm here. While that fight was happening, we had a continued fight with G25. Endgame walked on over there and said, hey, you know what? If we're going to fight, we'll fight here or fight now. And then right after that, I think it was another team third-partied on all of those guys. So we should check in to see what the score feed is for G25 and for Endgame.
Oh my goodness! Already so much action. That's what I come to expect here for the finals. This is game number 5 after all, and Simplicity accidentally helping out one of their biggest rivals here in Tempo Storm for this top spot. Oh my goodness! A little bit of good fortune for Tempo with that third party, giving them the slight breath they needed to stay in the game. And we've seen repeatedly from them that they can survive when their backs are against the wall. They can survive with only a few members. They can skirt the chaos and just get through when they need to. So they're going to have to do that in this game. But Accelerate, another one of these teams who's had mixed performances so far, but has been involved in a lot of these scuffles. Now putting themselves in a pretty good spot overall. No kills, but they are finally starting to see an opponent roll up. Couldn't quite see who it was, though. Oh,
yeah, it looks like it's the Happy Campers, and the Happy Campers now driving right on through, and Jag going to take these shots, and Kino gets blown up. It's not how you want to finish your mobile open, but that's how his does, and the Happy Campers will be sad with that one extra member. Only 3 Happy Campers left alive.
Look, man, they're just happy to have made it here into our finals at this point, but that's, yeah, not the way they really... Actually, you know what? They're going to get some retaliation and then be re-retaliated on. Zeke's up there on the flank, though, actually. Really nice play from him.
Huge
Trading
flank
back
by
and forth.
Zeke. He gets one, he gets both of them up top, and the flank works out, but Suzuki able to answer back, I believe. Yeah, and Zeke gets finished off. So just one up for Accelerate. I was saying earlier, they might be able to get a good performance out here, but not if they lose all their members. So Tasty going to try to go on the big flank to save Zeke. But what a play there by the Happy Campers. No longer just happy to camp. They wanted to flank. The Happy Flankers here.
I was going to say, they're pretty sure they have to rename their team at this point, because no, that was the wide flank. That was a really nice play coming in there from Zeke. Point blank range, able to get the shots up, and his teammates have helped him get back into this fight. But Accelerate still have the members up. They are still there in front of them. But now the Happy Campers have the high ground. They have the potential advantage in this fight, despite the fact that they're down one member. If they want to push their luck, that's the question, though. It's game number 5 at this point. Might as well fight.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, Happy Campers, they're not that high up on the scoreboards here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them send it. And it does look like they're going to use a 2-man flank here. For Accelerate, I'd want to get the heck out of Dodge, right? Right now, you're in 8th place. You want to try to salvage as many points as you can. You already know that tempo's been dinked down pretty hard. As Lucky taking those shots. Into the spray control there by Lucky, landing right onto Sin. And Sin's going to get finished off, so only one member of Accelerate left.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful fight there between those two squads. So we jump back on board with two teams who are vying for this top spot. Well, actually, Omen, they're kind of out of it now, but Pittsburgh Knights, they're definitely still in the running. Omen had not the best day, I'm going to be honest, Egon. They've picked some weird fights, lost a couple members early, or at least one member. That's what it always feels like. I feel like only ever having 3 members in the squad, Nico not being able to connect in game number 1. Little things like that have just not boded well for them, and they haven't been able to convert, really high kill games or, super high finishes. And now facing down Pittsburgh Knights, they just have to retreat.
Suzuki, not so good right now.
Oh.
Quickly heal, but the chicken's about to get toasted here. I guess roasted. Toasted chicken. That's my favorite. Here he goes. Goes one-on-one. Hip fire. Gets one. But knows he needs to run into the smoke. Here's the footsteps. Tries to get Tasty. And Tasty will gobble up all of the chicken there. And it's the Happy Campers coming out on top over Accelerate. And Accelerate are only going to plummet from, I think, their 8th place position.
What a beautiful series of play there coming on in from the Happy Campers. They went for aggressive flanks. They knew exactly how far they could push the envelope, and they were not afraid to go toe-to-toe and charge when they knew they had the numbers advantage. Beautiful play there from them. Their aggression was paid off. Cha-Cha learned to drive. Spring. He's just, am I crazy, Degon, or is he just like lying in the, okay, no, there's a slight hill there. All right.
He knows
what he's looking at.
But there's 3 members of JCR staring right at him. You look at the arrows, and it looks like Sip's going to go for it on a vehicle. You might just try to go for the vehicular play. No, goes down the hill and thinks better of it and will run himself out to safety. I don't know where the rest of his team is. They're very far away, but the circle has shifted. We are heading southwest all the way down, and it does look like Valle de Mar will be the area that we will partake in. So any team that's around La Driera or Chumacera, that's going to be a lot of trouble here. Tribe controlling Minas del Valle. So hopefully they'll be all right there. And Happy Campers, they're going to have to go through Tribe in just a bit. But JCR still holding that northwestern region right now against Wildcard. And it looks like Execute's going to slide on by because both teams are occupied with each other.
They are, but Wildcard, the rest of the team has finally showed up. Spring is no longer alone. We are seeing JCR getting pinched from across the way as well from Execute. Spring sees the shots as well, trying to line it up onto its fate, but oh my goodness, JCR is stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. There is nowhere for them to go. You deal with Wildcard on one side and getting executed on the other. Degon, JCR just had the worst bit of luck. Oh my goodness. Fate's going to go down, but the damage has been done.
Yeah, and to me, that's been JCR's day. All day it's been that. And it's, you know, I said earlier, like a lot of the practice is making sure you don't get in those kind of positions. I think it's been very unlucky from JCR. They have not had a straight up fight me, I fight you, fight it all. I go back all the way to the very first game on Erangel. They went one-on-one against against Omen Elite, and then Tempo Storm was just picking them off like from a hill further away, very much like what Execute just did to them right there. So unlucky kind of finish there for JCR.
Yeah, I think a couple members are actually still alive through all this. They will slowly get picked up, but their run for the day is unfortunately at an end. We just see the one member on the screen there. But yeah, Wildcard opted just instead go around, move into that little compound down there. It's going to edge creep their way in. I don't mind this decision at all at this point because having this amount of elevation and this kind of terrain, we see the Wild Sens sometimes on Erangel, sometimes on Sandhawk, but on a map like this on Miramar, it's just really not as viable. We can see the shots going back and forth, the sniper battle between Spring and its Fate. And hello, another player seems to be entering the game over here on the left. We see the end game moving on in. Hello. This is a highly contested hill, Degon.
Yep. Yeah, and Spring's going to have to quit the sniper battle because vehicles have been thrown into the mix here. Spring backing up, Toast and Ever Fury, trying their best to continue to work their way on in. They have lost Diablo since that early fight, losing Iron Sight at the very beginning of the game. And now Code is even further behind them. So Endgame need to decide what they're going to do, and they need to decide that fast because Wildcard's coming for them.
Oh, Endgame moving on down on the bike. Here are the shots from Azor. Can he land them? Not the easy. Oh, there we go. The bike stuttering just a little bit. Ever Fury, the last man standing, and that is going to be the end for Endgame. Beautiful shots from Wildcard, picking up 2 kills of their own. As now Code is moving their way in as well, over across the way, though the shots coming in from Execute. This has been the Hill of Doom. Oh my goodness. Somebody throw a ring in a volcano. My goodness.
Yeah, and JCR has just been chilling underneath everybody the whole while. As Code, able to answer it back here. Said, back up, Fame boy. We just want peace. Leave us alone. And I think Code will be able to work their way into the circle. They are aware that Wildcard is to their south because they watched Endgame get torn up. And so Code's going to have to decide how they want to proceed forward.
A lot of questions being posed to them right now, but at least they don't have that far to go. They did get a very favorable circle here, looking towards Simplicity, looking towards Tribe, looking towards the Happy Campers. They have a long way to go, especially with that mid little mountain range in the middle there underneath La Terriera. I don't think I said that right at all, but Fame Boys is getting dropped as the fights continue, but still, this is an awkward centralized final couple circles going to be between these two little ranges of hills, which is going to make line of sight very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. So we're seeing a lot of these bigger teams starting to take off the smaller teams as Code is continuing to get chunked here. Tribe needs to be careful. They're the ones that are going into this highly contested area from, these top teams, right? When you're looking at Tempo and you're looking at Wildcard, Tempo, 2 members left in the north. They're actually relatively safe right now. I think they're in the open. Omen Elite is the closest to them, as well as Execute, but they have a house, and Execute's focused with the 4 teams that are near them in the form of was it Code, JCR, and Wildcard.
And speaking of teams up there towards the top, Memo just got grenaded. I think that means there's only 1 member of Tempo Storm left. 12th position finish here would pretty much write them off in terms of one of these, even a top 5 finish potentially, with looking at how these teams are doing.
Memo's part of Tribe, so Tribe now go from 8 to 3.
Yeah. I don't know. I had Tempo in my head. There you go.
All right.
Yes, scaring myself here. I'm seeing all these teams are showing Tribe and they're showing Tempo Storm. Oh my goodness! I was like, hang on, we're seeing things potentially disastrous. Tribe still has 3 members up and alive though, which is huge for them as we are seeing so many teams.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about, where they had to go through that southern area of Via Damar, Paul, and although Tempo only has 2 and lost 2 early, haven't really done too much, they have to go through a tough spot. Just like Execute is making it very tough for Wildcard, but they are able to make the cross on over. They are safe for a little bit, and they're inside the zone with the building. Huge move there for Wildcard.
As we're looking at all the teams just still collecting themselves on the western side. Wildcard able to survive, get down into cover. Spring is still here, eyes up the slopes. But we still have JCR. ZBM has survived through all this. A couple members from Code are still alive. I cannot believe it. It seems like they just let themselves I'm just going to fade into the background here. Let these two teams just fight it out right now. But we do see Tensa and HH24. They are still alive through all of this. However, Fame Boys and the crew, they want to pick themselves up from some kills, and they're looking aggressive. Code trying to get themselves out of there, though, Degon. It looks like they're going to be able to be successful, at least for now.
Yeah, Code get on the vehicle. They're able to get themselves away. Tribe now on the hunt here, taking down a couple member of the Strangers. And Simplicity, they were way outside the zone. I think they just sent it and were able to get into one of the last couple of buildings in the south. And the circle has popped, and it is popped on the opposite side of Via de Mar, where nobody is set up other than Wildcard. There's a lot of city buildings still left to be taken once we take a look at the map in just a second.
It will indeed, but oh my goodness, yeah, there is so much cover to deal with. We're going to have a lot of close quarters battles as we get into these final few circles. You just see all the teams collect themselves there, and a lot of movement needs to be had from these teams getting out of the hills, getting down into the city along the coast here. This is going to be interesting.
We saw a big move there by Wildcard earlier to get into the complex that we see him right now. Pittsburgh Knights with a very aggressive send there with the Bronco to get themselves all the way on in. The Bronco explodes, nobody dies. Pittsburgh Knights, their move pays off.
And now they're in the city with the happy campers. Everybody's trying to move in. We can see Omen trying to do the same thing. Nico pushing in, as you can see on the minimap. But oh my goodness, Tempo are facing down so many opponents right in front of them. It seems like Executor are going to continue to move on by. Tempo surviving just a little bit longer. This is massive as we can start to see the kill feed light up as teams are rotating now. Fate's going down. Code's able to pick up a kill there with the vehicle explosion. Tribe able to do work as well. We are just continuing to see the action rain on the kill feed as it seems like Tempo just trying to survive through this. They're going for a crazy flank here, Degon. They're going all the way around.
Yeah, Tempo's going all the way around. They don't have too many plays left, and they have to do it right now because the circle's moving in. All the other thing that's happening right now is that Tribe is hyper active right now. King A and C got the only ones left alive. Remember, Tribe is the other team that's vying for first place. It's Tribe, Wildcard, and Tempo. Wildcard, they made their move early. They're in the circle. They have cover. They're safe. Tempo right here. You see Tensa and HH24, the two former Team Totality members running it on through. But now Tribe running into Omen Elite and Simplicity. This is not good for Tribe. Only one member still left up right now, I believe, for Tribe.
Oh my goodness, this is a rough spot for them right now. Just gotta survive at this point. Tensa's dropping as well. Wildcard sees them, has them in their sights.
Tensa,
trying to take the... Oh my goodness. HH24 is just raining the shots. Execute is in front of them as well. Caught between all these strong teams. This is going to be real tough with the blue moving in as well. It's going to chunk at this point. Degon, HH24 got to try and survive through this. I think he's going to heal up and then try and make a mad dash, but he's got so far to run.
Yeah, he's got so far to run. Again, those top three teams, they're still in it, but it's all on HH24 for Tempo. Got a long way to run. Does look like he gets shot, and it's from Code from distance. And so Tempo going out in 11th place, only 4 kills. That's not going to be enough. So we will have a new Mobile Open champion in just a little bit. It looks like Nico has just died. So Omen Elite goes on out in 10th place. Not the performance that they expected or we expected from them. Code getting finished off from Execute, and so Execute starting to amass a ton of action. Let's see how many kills they end up with at the end of the game so far. Right now, it's 6 kills.
And 5 for Tribe, as 2 members stayed alive through all this, able to get down into the city, but they have a ways to move here. Simplicity is on the flank. Both of these teams are going to have to take a very similar path to make it into this circle here. 30 seconds until things are going to get underway. One of these teams we're watching out for up towards the top of the standings. It is King A and crew. But we are seeing Pittsburgh Knights taking some work. Wildcard still getting involved. Degon, Wildcard is putting their stamp on this game. They are getting knocks left and right. But the response did come in there from Pittsburgh Knights as well.
Yeah, it was on the happy camper. So it's all about just getting points right now. If you're one of those teams, play it a little bit slower.
get the points, make sure you get the placement points, and try to put yourself in the best position within the circle. And that is what Wildcard is doing. They happen to be getting kills in the process, but they're in. Pittsburgh Knights are in. And again, Pittsburgh Knights were a little bit further away. I think they were actually in 5th with their chicken dinner, but they could still find the points necessary and execute. Right here, I think they very much botched this. They moved a little bit too late, and now Goon and Fame are not going to have the amount of healing necessary. They're not going to make it into the circle. Goon's got to go straight in. Will he be able to make it? No, he won't. Raven picks up the kill from distance, and so Execute lose their opportunity at trying to stake the claim. Wildcard, for all the action, they only have 3 kills. Tribe still up? Yes, King A, the only one still left alive. It looks like he's trying to heal on through and heal up. He's not going to have anything to do here. So Wildcard, they need a couple more kills right now. It's 5 kills for Tribe, 4 kills for Tempo. Execute had, I think, seven kills in that last game. King A trying to find what he can, not quite able to, goes out to the zone. And so Wildcard collecting all those placement points right now. With G25, who was struggling earlier, that's another position point they get. So there's 3. We have our final 3. It is 4v2v3. Pittsburgh Knights only on 2 members, Sam and Raven. A victory here would be huge, but Wildcard, this is basically theirs as long as they don't botch this one up.
Yeah, I think now with the amount of kills that Wildcard has, if they get a first place finish here, it will pretty much guarantee that they are our season 4 champions. They have looked so consistent, so solid. They were the team that you were looking for. We have so many veteran members on this roster, and now here they go into the breach. They got the down onto Raven. Sam is here as well. Can they continue to make this happen to the smoke? Trying to get the shots, and no! Pittsburgh Knights absolutely crushed by sheer weight of numbers. Wildcard, no uncertainty in this one. Get the push, get the kills, get the pickup, get the placement, and now it is a 4v3 situation up against G25, and this is Wildcard's game to win.
Yep, Enigma trying to get those victory kills here on the kill switch. Kill switch does get knocked. Now following along with Spring, hiding around the corner. PG is still waiting for his turn. Azor waiting to get revived here. A little bit greedy, but everyone is within the circle except Kill Switch. So Cha-Cha and PG, the last 2 left alive here for G25. Not the tournament that they wanted, but might be able to have the finish that they want. But Wildcard, it's about time. We've seen this team on the cusp. We've talked about it so many times. These players have found success, just not at the not calling themselves champions, hoisting the trophy, hoisting the accolades. Here's their chance. Cha-Cha waiting outside. Azor with the fatty flank, while PG getting the revive onto Kill Switch. So not too bad here for Cha-Cha, as he does spot Azor. Oh,
he knows. Oh, they're the shots away, though.
Yeah.
Cha-Cha knows exactly who's looking at him. Azor with this sneaky little peek. And trying to push it now. There comes the whole crew. Cha-Cha gets the first down. Gets the second down. Oh my goodness. Able to try and get some retaliatory right back.
Kill Switch.
No, it's not nearly enough. Wildcard, through strength of numbers, through perfect execution, beautiful flanks, and a solid
kill. There's G25 with the win. G25 was able to get the victory there. A huge spray there at the end, and somehow Wildcard managed to botch it. They got 5 kills, so I think they're good. But G25 finally living up to the potential that had them at second place. That's crazy.
I cannot believe it, but still, I feel pretty confident in saying that at the end, our Mobile Open champions for Season 4 still got to be Wildcard, but that was still a ridiculous finish there. I cannot believe it. I was looking at there's no way they're going to lose this. It's a 4v3. What a finish, D-Gun.
It was a fantastic finish there. Great play by PG to go back, pick up Kill Switch, and Kill Switch is the last one alive to make that clutch play here. Spray from the corner. It takes away some of the placement points, but when you're even on kills there, Wildcard able to get it done.
I mean, Digon, I got to look back at that again with our Xperia replay. We have to take a look at that the whole game. I hope we get that last fight in there, because what? What even happened? That was ridiculous.
Yeah, starting off early. Here's G25 picking the fight onto Iron Sight, and Kodo just making kind of a play we'd expect from Slicky. Just going on in, even though it was 1v4. And this was the fight that I think dictated the whole game here. Polar Ace, I think,
fighting with the big boys. They wanted to fight with that, and you can see Russell's just praying. He's praying that it lands, and there it is. It does connect. Fixes the kill. Good moment here for the happy campers to take care of business. Zeke had one big flank. That one didn't pay off, but in this case, Tasty comes around and picks up the kill. And then on this one, the buddy system on the motorcycle, I think when you're the caboose on that one, you're just squeezing tight. You're like, please keep you safe, senpai. Not quite able to work out there. And Execute had such a big role to play in this game, and they did. They were a thorn on everybody's side. Look at this here with HH2 Tensa went down a little bit earlier in that one, but Execute just not able to make the right call at the right time. They moved in too late. The blue took them down, made it too difficult for them to get the victory. Great push here against Pittsburgh Knights. I think questionable by Sam. He got caught with his energy drink out, getting finished off here. Killswitch doing a great job climbing back, and then here it is, the moment. Cha-Cha gets 2 with the spray, gets a couple people to reload. In the back, PG goes down, and there's 1. And off the bat, Killswitch getting the last 2 kills. Huge victory there for G25. And you wish you got to see more of it, but glad they're able to finish off their tournament well.
To be fair, watching back that final clip, even I couldn't tell watching it again who won until the final end game screen. They were just trading blows till the very end. It came down to a 1v1 spraying and praying. So many props. The amazing recovery there at the end for G25, who came in as our second place seed. But what a stellar series of games over the course of the day. Thank you so much, Degon, for that Xperia replay analysis. So many things to parse over the course of that game, but we'll put a pin in it for now. I have to give a big shout out to AT&T, the presenting partner of the ESL Mobile Open. All of this is only possible because of their continued support. So thank you so much to AT&T for supporting the grassroots mobile esports, to allowing us to continue to put on these awesome events, give these players a chance to go off and do things like that, have those crazy finishes. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, I got to give a big shout out to Sony as well, and the Xperia One for joining us as the official mobile partner here for season 4. Thank you so much to Sony for helping out and allowing us to use these awesome, fantastic phones. Been having a lot of fun getting to use that over the last few days. So thank you so much to Sony as well for getting involved and helping to support mobile esports as well. Oh my goodness, though. That was something there, Degon. That was something. We are tallying the final scores. We are getting these last results because we don't want to say anything a little too prematurely here. We want to make sure that we have all of our final scores completely correct. Our admin team, I can see them going nuts and doing their thing right now, putting it all together. So we're going to let them tally that up for us.
Yeah. Again, I think just to put a little cap on it while we're doing the quick maths, the world kind of is in certain specific times here. And I think the fact that we were able to get the full lobby up and going, everyone at ESL making sure everything got up and rolling. I think it was a huge undertaking, and the fact that we continued to press on, making sure that everyone was safe and able to play, and it wasn't going to lead to like extraneous circumstances for anyone to play a game in these tough times. I think we put on a fantastic show, and I think we also had players show up and put on some great games once they got comfortable. And for future iterations of it, would love to get to see more matches and players get more comfortable so that we have the storylines going into the final games. And otherwise, appreciate all the players getting their games in, everyone at home tuning in. We touched on it during game 4. Paul and I love getting to do this and cast with you guys, for you guys, all the memes in the chat, the camo, and we get to build upon the storylines with the players that we've seen time and time again. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Absolutely. I mean, for me in particular, it's been a long 3 days. So we've had, as I said, not only the Mobile Open PUBG Mobile Finals here, we had Clash of Clans and Asphalt 9 and Dota Underlords. It's been 3 amazing days of mobile esports action. So thank you all so much for all of you who've tuned in and watched the show over the last few days. Your support means the world to us. And again, with everything that's happened, us being able to put on the show at all has meant so much to all of us here over at the team at ESL. From going to a live finals events at the Shrine Auditorium, to trying to get players on site, to realizing we had to do it fully remote, to the at-home broadcast setup. we still wanted to make sure that we could put on the show for you all, and we are very happy that we were able to do so. And again, shout out to you, the fans. Shout out to the players to making it happen. My fellow co-casters, they're still tallying up the final scoreboards. Hopefully it's arriving fairly soon. Oh, it's ready right now. We're about to crown ourselves a champion, Degon. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. In first place, our Season 4 champions. I didn't really have a whole lot of doubt, but let's confirm it. It's Wild Card Gaming. They came in with a solid chicken dinner finish, secured the W there, but my, oh my, was it close. Tribe Gaming in second with 70 points, and Tempo Storm in third with 63. What a finale, Degon.
Yeah, again, a great job putting this together. Called this one at the beginning of the day as my dark horse pick to take the victory. I think out of all these roster swaps, this is the one that improved the most. I think the top teams made moves that made them better, but Wildcard getting this clump of guys together that have so much experience, it's been a lot of fun seeing them grow and really put out, because again, you had the kind of like a couple of knuckleheaded plays in a couple of the games, but they all seem to cover each other at the right spot at the right time. Love the fact that Wildcard get themselves a victory. Tribe Gaming also making roster moves. King A, he had a hell of a tournament stepping up today. And I think, Tribe has a fantastic place now to continue to grow. And then Tempo showing when they don't get blessed with the circle, they can get points. They can salvage points without having to frag out and dominate the server. So not the victory that they wanted, I think, and not what we're used to from Tempo, but showing off better than some of the other top teams that we're used to seeing. Big props to them.
Yeah, this is just goes to show that the caliber and level of talent in North America has only continued to increase. Really, there are just so much amazing talent, and we have one of the winning members of Wildcard here for a final interview. Congratulations, dear sir. You are our Mobile Open Season 4 champion. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It was a really stressful last game since we knew it was a three-way tie going into it. And just recently, we actually lost a tournament by 1 point. So we were pretty nervous going into the last game, but we managed to pull it up.
Yeah, man. Spring, you've been around for a while, and you've hopped around a couple rosters here. And how's it feel to finally feel vindicated, I would say, for getting a victory in a tournament?
Really good, actually. It's kind of funny. I actually flew out to watch the first ESL LAN in Dallas. And after that LAN, I started playing PUBG Mobile because I enjoyed it so much. And it's nice now, 4 seasons later, to finally be able to win one. So
that's amazing, man. It's awesome to hear that, helped inspire that forward. Obviously, you're a team that has a lot of veteran members on the squad. You guys have various iterations. What was it like bringing all of that talent together onto one team? Were there any issues at first having all those, everybody gel, or what was that process like?
It was really exciting. I wouldn't say there's too many issues. Obviously, it's kind of weird playing with, 3 new players you'd never played with before. And so it took a while for everybody to kind of fit together. But once we did, everybody just has so much talent that it's just really easy to work with the guys. Acer, Slicky, and Enigma are all really good individual players in their own right. So we just kind of are able to fit together and do our thing.
Who's your IGL? How do you guys individually put those skills together?
So I mainly IGL, but I get a lot of help from Acer and the other 2 as well. So it's kind of like, the way I describe it is that our team kind of works zone to zone. So we don't really have any big plans going into the game. We just all kind of know what we want to do, and each zone, anybody can decide where we go to next, basically. Like, I don't have to be the one IGLing. If Acer sees a compound, he's like, oh, that looks like a good spot in the next zone, then we'll trust him and we'll go to it. So I think the biggest thing about our team is that we all trust each other a lot, so we'll listen to each other's calls, basically.
And obviously developing that trust, it takes time, and clearly it's, the work you've put into it has paid off. You walked away 7 points separating you and the next team at an absolutely incredible day. So congratulations once again on the championship here in Season 4. You guys absolutely earned it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, there's another one in the books, Degon. It has been an adventure to get here. Season 4 had some moments, but in the end, we were able to crown ourselves a champion despite all the adversity that we're facing in the world right now. Players came together, they played their hearts out, and Wildcard Gaming walked away victorious. A squad of veterans able to make it work. I'm so excited for them. Just goes to show that, again, you don't have to be repped by one of these massive organizations here in NA, that you can just show up, put in the work, and be rewarded.
Yeah, Execute Gaming showing up big and having themselves Execute Esports, excuse me, fifth place there with 58 points, only one off of fourth place, the G25. I think that was huge, and the standings ended up kind of how we wanted. Established rosters eventually move themselves on up, like with G25, Pittsburgh Knights in the top half. The only one that was kind of surprising, I think, was Omen Elite, a little bit further down. Didn't quite have the day that they wanted. Also started the first game with only 3 members. So, I think that one is something you take to the bank, because they have made their roster changes and their roster move as well. So we'll see. But other than that, fantastic finals for a great tournament. And again, big shout outs to the admins, the observers, to our production team, to audio, to Guillermo, who does everything for us in the back end. Thanks to you, buddy. I appreciate it. And all of you guys at home watching, appreciate the support with PUBG Mobile.
Absolutely. I could not say it better myself. Thanks to you as well, Degon, for joining me here. Helped carry me through this broadcast, dropping the knowledge bombs. I'm a little bit rusty, but you make it easy every single time. So thank you so much, sir. We will see you soon for more amazing PUBG Mobile action. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye. I'll say goodnight. Thanks. Bye, buddy, as he just flies away. But thank you all again for joining us here for this broadcast. It's been an absolute adventure. And if you want to get involved, if you want to be here, if you want to have us yelling and screaming as you wipe an entire squad by yourself, it's definitely doable. It's definitely possible, because you can sign up for Season 5 right now. Get involved. The winner of Season 5 will advance past the open qualifiers right into the group stages for the PMCO. That in itself is huge. But not only that, you get the prize money, you get the trophy, you get the glory of being a Mobile Open champion. So definitely look to get involved in that. And of course, if you want to enter our giveaway, if you want to keep up to date with everything going on in the world of Mobile Open, ! Giveaway as well. Get access to, I don't know, maybe win one of these amazing Xperia Ones, win one of 4 awesome Bluetooth speakers that AT&T is giving away. Definitely want to look to get involved in that. But that's been it. Amazing weekend. Mobile esports at its finest. For myself and Verum, from the cast and crew, thank you all so much. We'll see you next season.
This is the ESL Mobile Open, presented by AT&T.
You leave it to me. I'll get your taxes in an okay place.
What?
Well, just as soon as my audit is over. This gets my undivided attention.
Take a lot of trips to the islands, Phil.
Pretty great, right? Oh, Phil's legally dead. Fell off a boat. Going by Dennis now. Solari. Long story. Then we got, no, you're not going to want to see this.
I don't think this is going to work.
Just okay is not okay. AT&T has America's best network, now with our best plans at our best prices, starting at $35 a line for 4 lines, new from AT&T.